All World Series of Poker main event roadmaps lead to the same place. The mindset players use to get there is up to them.
Michael.
Yes! This main event, I had really much fun. I've been just trying to enjoy myself all the time.
Never trust a poker player.
Getting to day 5 is really exciting. Starting to kind of feel the nerves a little bit because everyone's like, oh my God, you're so deep, you're gonna make the final table.
Blinds are getting pretty aggressive and the players are very good.
It's hard to sleep when you get home because you're excited, but to be honest, I've kept pretty calm throughout the whole series.
No matter where you stand in the poker food chain in general, you all have a chance and you all want it just as bad.
Everyone thinks they have the directions to the final table, but only 9 will show up to the final destination. Day 5 is now.
I had a dream so big and loud. I jumped so high, I touched the clouds. Whoa,
Texas Dolly Brunson, who wrote the book.
This is gonna be the best day.
He's moving in for the kill.
And there it is. Helmuth wins the championship.
Moneymaker puts his name amongst the greatest players in the game.
Wake me now.
Greg Merson is the main event champion.
It's gonna be the best day of my life.
Biggest day of my life.
Main event, day 5.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker main event. Everyone chasing $8.3 million and the gold bracelet. Lon McCarron here with Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott.
Day 5.
We're gonna push it to the limit. Scarface style, you like that?
Doing great. Ready for the
Ready to bust Greg Merson.
Breakfast of Champions.
Greg Merson looking to make history again.
The first time you make history, that's cool. The second time you make history, that would just be selfish.
Vivek Rajkumar getting a nice send-off.
We're on day 5, I believe, and my chip stack's at 858,000, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Inside the Amazon room, more tense, fewer players. One of the survivors, JC Tran.
This is his 6th main event cash in 10 years. I believe he lives in the Amazon room.
Jonathan Lane has a big coffee and a big stack with nearly $3 million.
He has so many chips he had to order a Cafe Mocha Vente to carry some of them.
There you see Lane on top. Vic Sinelli, who busted Phil Hellmuth, is in 4th place. 239 players remain.
These players shouldn't get too excited yet. In the past 5 main events, just 1 player from the top 10 each year at the start of day 5 has made the final table.
Among the notables, Max Steinberg with about double the chip average. Jason Cohen below average now.
His wife gave him a main event entry as a 40th birthday gift. Now she needs to stop his free fall.
Everyone in the money, but mere 5-figure payouts are not what this group is after. It's the $8.3 million top prize, which one of our remaining players will claim come November. Our secondary feature table is loaded to start day 5. 2001 main event champ Carlos Mortensen, short stacked in seat number 2.
How dare you call the Matador short stack? The man works his chip stack better than anyone.
Germany's Marvin Rettenmaier sits to Carlos's left. He has an average stack. That okay?
How dare you say his stack is average? He's the former WPT Player of the Year. His stack should never be called average. It's in his WPT contract. Look it up.
Carlos, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
World Series bracelet winner Adib Harb exchanging pleasantries with the 0-1 world champ. He folds on Robin Ilatalo on the button. He has ace-10 of diamonds.
He final tabled a World Series event this year.
Swedish pro.
16, right?
And he's got chips in hand. Blinds right now at 8 and 16,000, 2,000 chip ante. A min raise from Ilatalo to 32 grand.
Carlos Mortensen has final tabled 8 World Series events, beating Dewey Tomko heads up for the 2001 main event title.
He's 41 now and all in with ace-jack.
Can I get a count?
300.
Ah, cool.
And Carlos with the look away all in. That's always ace-jack offsuit line. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Carlos at risk, but ahead.
Good luck.
Excuse me, sir, but it's you who needs the luck against Carlos. All right, the Matador looking to hang on and double up. The flop. Queen 5-4, no diamonds, no pairs. Carlos still ahead.
The man who was never short stacked is about to officially be closer to average stacked, and I don't like that word average for the Matador either.
Turn card. 6 of hearts. Mortensen 1 card from a double up or elimination.
Ilatalo needs a 10 and a 10 only to knock out Carlos Mortensen.
The river's another 5, and on the first hand of day 5, Mortensen doubles up.
Well, actually I have exactly 300. I will start with 302. Yeah.
Decent start.
Wow. Better impossible.
I hope he's scheduling a pedicure there because I'm tired of poker players tweeting that they just doubled up.
Amen.
I didn't want to tell you I folded a 10 until after.
Thank you. Good news for Carlos. And, you know, getting the cards in the air on the main event is just like lighting a fuse, and boom goes the dynamite on Greg Mueller's tournament. The two-time bracelet winner is gone.
The former ice hockey pro always seems to be in the hunt. 12 career World Series final tables, 30 cashes.
The Canadian had 4 cashes with 3 final tables at this World Series. He'll take home over $37,000 US. Across the Amazon room where pro Sean Chacon is all in, and he was called by Octo-Niner Steve G. Sean awaiting his fate.
Chacon pushed with 22 big blinds left. Steve G has switched his Bay Area allegiance from the Raiders to the A's, and I believe he is wearing baseball pants.
Ace King against the pocket sevens, racing for Chacon's entire stack and most of G's. G's still alive in his amazing attempt at back-to-back main event final tables. Ace Jack 4, G into the lead.
And that could be the last flop of Sean Chacon's 2013 main event.
Turn card 10 of diamonds, G with a flush draw, stealing a precious out from Shiki.
Only the 7 of hearts saves Shiki.
River card is a tray, and G prevails and puts Sean Chacon on the outside looking in.
And Steve G only had Chacon covered by about 35,000 chips there.
Sean's best main event finish came in 05, 11th place for $600,000. He'll walk away here in 224th place.
He entertained us, and now Shiki's main event show is over.
Off to the cage to pick up almost $43,000. And look at Steve G sitting with over $800,000. A long way to go, but what a return engagement for him.
I got no excuse. I played it bad. I could wait for a better situation than that, but back to the drawing boards. Wait for next year, I guess.
With Sean Chacon's elimination, the field just got a little quieter, but the story that is being heard loud and clear is the deep run of 2 of last year's Octo-Niners, Steve G and Greg Merson. Norman, what are they doing, and can others do it down the road?
When I worked as a marine biologist, we had an expression: once an accident, twice a trend. Steve G and Greg Merson are not here again by accident. By skill, not luck, they often win pots they shouldn't. Lottery winners are lucky. The last lobster in the tank is lucky. You're lucky because you're standing next to me. G and Merson, they bluff with the best of them and make their own luck.
There is the defending champ, the third member of our team, Kara Scott, caught up with him before play began here on day 5.
We've seen Greg Merson in this position before. In fact, last year, you came all the way, won the championship, but you did it kind of tired because you'd had an amazing summer, right? You also won a bracelet right before coming in. So are you feeling fresher this year?
Yeah, I feel amazing. I've been sleeping every day till my alarm goes off instead of waking up 3 hours before it and just not being able to fall back to sleep. So definitely way more comfortable this year.
Given the field size, it's an amazing thing to see you coming so far through the tournaments again. What's the biggest difference from last year at this point for you?
I guess I just don't really feel the nerves kicking in yet. Maybe if I make day 6 or day 7, it'll kick in more.
Okay, well, let's see what you can do here on day 5 in the University of Maryland jersey.
Merson with a below average stack right now, but not in danger. Vivek Rajkumar is here, up over 1 million chips. And pro Jonathan Jaffe with $561,000. He's also training to be a trainer of Dolphins. And there's Brett Ritchie, amateur rapper, pro poker player, stacked at $1.7 million.
Apparently you don't have to graduate from Maryland to wear their jersey. I did the time, 5.5 years of classes and parking tickets. Merson had a cup of coffee in College Park.
Folded to Alex Biliker, Russian businessman, 39.
Biliker with an MBA from the Russian Presidential Academy of National Economy and Public Administration. I believe they are the Horned Frogs.
He raised it to $32,000. Kima Kimura with Ace King. And AK is also her home state from Anchorage. She re-raises to $75,000.
Kimura, one of just 6 women left in the main event.
All in.
That's San Jose. Pro Tommy Chin and the big blind saying all in with jacks. Biliker folds now with Ace King Kimura.
She's got about 25 big blinds left in her stack.
I call.
And she will try to make Chin pay for playing pocket jacks.
Jacks against Ace King. Jacks always lose. Let's move on.
Good luck, Mr. Blade.
Thank you, Grady. I want to use my one time now.
It's too early.
Seems early. Here is the flop and a king for Kimura.
Yeah, that's a wasted one time. By the way, now we're wondering about the timing of using a one-time. We need a rule book on one-times.
9 of hearts.
Always.
Yep. Chen just picked up 9 more ways to survive.
Now Chen, just one time, needs a jack or any heart to stick around.
The river card, not what Chen wanted, and his main event has come to an end here in 2013.
Probably has me covered, right? Can you check?
Well, they're double checking the stacks.
I hate tournament poker. So bad.
So Kimura makes the ace-king work. Chen can't say the same about the Jack's 220th place, good for $42,990. That's tournament poker. You got to win flips to advance. Chen couldn't do it. Welcome back to the Rio, the home of the main event for almost 10 years. That bracelet goes to the champ this year. It's worth $500,000.
I had aces, and the guy's kings, and it was like a $2 million chip pot. Wow. And it was for my tournament life. He flopped the king, and I rivered an ace. No. That's why I was yelling, because I was like...
Seaver Jaw telling a non-bad beat story. You know, they can be just as annoying sometimes.
So you were kind of out, and you hit a Q out there on the river.
Yeah.
2 million chip pot.
Well, no, I went all in pre-flop. Pre-flop.
Oh, it was pre-flop.
Wow. That's why I was like...
So bad, and then... Yeah.
I was like, I'm about to be... You know, because I was on a table with...
That is Norway's Åge Spets, whose experience in other games led him to poker.
My name is Åge Spets. I have been working with IT business for 10 years. Me and my best friends, we played strategy games since we were like 10 years old. It's always been my favorite. I also played cards with my family since I think I was only 4 years old when we started playing cards. I got into poker 10 years ago. Poker was a good thing to do for me because I could sit at home and play poker when my son was asleep. In 2005, I started to understand I had skills in the game.
I've been waiting for aces all day.
In 2006, I was voted the best player in Norway that year. Now I played more since I decided to quit my job. So far, I've been really on a roller coaster in this main event.
Yes! Back in the game!
But once in a while, you win big money, and then it's really fun, you know. To win the main event would be amazing for me. You know, it will be a life changer. I don't have words, yeah.
Right now, Augie's third best with pocket tens against 2 others pre-flop. Ted Zhivkov holds pocket queens. Seaver Jaw was dealt 2 jacks, just 4-bet to $343,000. He has the others covered. Action is on Spets.
Remember in the hand against Max Steinberg, when he flipped a coin, he asked Max if he was behind. Well, he's behind here again. This should be a pretty easy fold for Spets. And I believe when you stand up and circle, you know you're behind.
He's going to look for his answer elsewhere.
No, I was supposed to do that. And then you do it. Have to fold.
Yeah, well done, sir. And a call from Zhivkov.
All in call. That saved me. That saved me. I had the tens.
Remember, Jaw was in that aces versus kings all in against Nikolai Sears he was talking about. Zhivkov all in here.
Here is the flop. 8-deuce-king rainbow. Yeah, he could use a jack. Turn card now. Is a queen. Zhivkov seals the deal with the set on the turn.
I thought it was a jack.
A double up, and with chips come hope.
That cost Jaw about 1/6 of his big stack, and Zhivkov doubles up to about 34 big blinds.
Well, anyway, I'd rather beat that one guy anyway. Right.
All right, from the outer tables, we get back to our secondary table now, where Steve Bartlett raised under the gun with ace-jack. Philip Long called with queens, as did Ziwa Zhao with 10-8 suited. Now to German pro Marvin Rettenmaier. Rettenmaier in the small blind, looks down at 2 kings.
Marvin in town for the annual International Scarf Makers Association convention. Fun group.
Long sits with the most chips at this table, 1.8 million. Rettenmaier now with a re-raise to 116,000.
That should get rid of the crumb bums and shoe clerks.
Bartlett with the ace-jack. Folds. Philip Long now.
Well, pocket queens is not crumb bummish or shoe clerkish, but it's beat.
Long can't afford it. Starting the hand with about 1.8 million as mentioned. He does call for 84,000 more. Zhao folds. Rettenmeier's kings against Long's queens now.
Long, 24-year-old British pro.
10, 6, 10. Sal gave up at 10. Rettenmaier with kings up.
Marvin first learned how to play the piano, then the guitar in high school. He liked piano, but said he stuck with guitar because it's easier to carry around a guitar than a piano.
92,000 from Rettenmaier.
Long stuck here, carrying around pocket queens.
Yeah, that's heavier than the piano. He makes the call. Here's the turn card is a king. King's full for Rettenmaier now.
So rare when you're just almost certain you have the hand locked up on the turn. So Marvin can loosen the scarf here and make this bet comfortably.
Well, still not getting too crazy, 146,000.
The long's got to feel like he's lugging around a piano right now. Those pocket queens, as you mentioned, getting quite heavy to bear.
He did pick up a useless flush draw, and he does make the call.
Hard to believe all the chips didn't get into the middle pre-flop or on that flop.
River card now. 9 of hearts. Long gets lucky, no queen or spade fell.
Well, if I'm Marvin, I would check here. I think that's his best shot at getting the most chips out of long.
Rettenmaier goes the other way. He moves all in.
I certainly wouldn't have gone all in.
Long gets rid of his hand quickly.
What, this guy's got WPT titles? Show them to me.
Rettenmaier working towards 1.3 million. This is his 3rd straight main event cash.
By the way, I miss Dario Minieri.
Some of Long's chips get siphoned away, but he still has over 1.4 million in the tank. All right, back into the field. The first World Series Europe main event champion, Oberstad, looking to score a knockout right now.
I don't have much.
How do you make that call? What's wrong with you?
You're like 39. Stop it. Because I knew he wasn't calling.
Pekaski, former equities trader, doesn't like the transaction. Annette Oberstad completed there. It was for less than 20% of her stack.
Okay, thank you.
Pocket nines against ace-jack. Pekaski at risk, and there's an ace for Annette.
Pekaski really doesn't like it now.
3 of hearts on the turn, no help for Pekaski. The river, no 9.
Nice turn.
Sorry. I guarantee you she's not sorry.
Ace is up for Oberstad, puts Pekaski on the rail.
She made the right call there.
Annette now with over 1.4 million for Pekaski. Well, it's just over.
How can she call off with ace-jack? She's supposed to be a pro. She's very lucky. Oh, well. It's a good run. See you next year.
I mean, they already saw him shove King 7 off. Like, you know he's capable.
Annette Oberstad is quietly becoming a force here on day 5.
I call. I have a set. It's hard to stack all these chips, man.
24-year-old Max Steinberg made his presence known at the feature table on day 3, busting Phil Ivey in dramatic set-over-set fashion. Now Max at an outer table trying to figure out what will come his way after his straight improved to a 10-high flush against the nut flush of Dan Owen.
Owen, a retired executive and investor from Napa, California. And that was a brutal river card for Max Steinberg. Any blank on the river, he's going to win a nice pot. But now he's gone from nut straight to 4th nut flush. And if he doesn't fold it here, he's going to lose a big chunk of his stack.
Gut check time for Max. Owen bet 650,000. Max has a big hand. And all those chips so enticing.
I call.
He calls with his lesser flush, and Owen will take that pot.
Wow. Owen now with a top 10 chip stack, and Steinberg gets chopped down.
Giving up over 60% of his chips, he's going to have to knuckle down with a below-average chip stack now. And Dan Owen, as you mentioned, looking good right now with nearly 2.5 million, which is more than twice the chip average with 197 players still in the event. All right, let's get back to the featured table. A new occupant in seat number 9 is Nick Schwarman and his 855,000 chips.
He's gone toe-to-toe with Greg Merson, and I think he lost a toe.
2-time bracelet winner Rep Porter sits here as well with 1.6 million. Jonathan Jaffe has already opened under the gun for 32,000 with King 9 of diamonds. Been folded all the way around to the big blind, and Vivek Rajkumar with ace queen off.
Vivek graduated from the University of Washington before he was 19 with degrees in advanced mathematics and computer engineering, and now he's playing ace-queen. What does that tell you?
Check.
Vivek checks dark. 8 deuce 4 2 diamonds. Jaffe now favored with 2 live cards and a flush draw. Bets 42,000.
Ace high is still best, but as you say, Rajkumar an underdog to end up with the best hand to Jaffe's diamond draw. See, I can apply mathematics too, and I have an American Studies degree from Maryland Law.
Well, Vivek thinking the flop probably missed Jaffe too. Will commit 42,000. Jaffe keeping a close eye on his opponent. 6 of hearts. Rajkumar checks again.
See how the percentages change when Jaffe doesn't hit a diamond on the turn? I watch the numbers, Lon. It's my job. Somebody's got to do it.
Jaffe bet the flop, but we'll take the free pass here.
Well, numbers aside, I would have checked faster.
River card, queen of diamonds. The flush comes home for Jaffe while giving Rajkumar top pair, top kicker.
Nasty river for Vivek.
Rajkumar checks a third time. Now Jaffe's got him.
218.
218.
218.
Where'd he get that number from? Kellogg's Cornflakes box top? It's a nasty number. He overbets the pot.
Could be suspiciously big.
Kind of have a pretty good hand for me to have here.
He's got Vivek beflummoxed. I already was.
You did good, John. I call.
Close.
And Jaffe will take that pot.
And Vivek seemed to just know it as he called.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Jonathan Jaffe got there on the river, and he crosses the million chip marker. Vivek Rajkumar does likewise, but he's heading in the wrong direction. Jonathan Jaffe, a very interesting character in the poker world. Not every day you see a top player who was trying to become a dolphin trainer, and then he looks for fish to play poker with, too.
His father's a doctor. His mother's an occupational therapist. Previously, Jonathan had worked as a camp counselor and as a haberdasher. Naturally, he became a dolphin trainer.
We'll keep it here at the featured table. Jaffe's sitting right now with $1,000,001.
No, I was wondering, you got team and all that.
Action once again on Vivek Rajkumar with pocket queens.
Rajkumar, born in India, spent most of his childhood in Singapore and moved to the U.S. with his family when he was 12.
His pocket queens, he thinks, are worth a raise of $35,000. Over to Nick Schwarman, a poker pro from Orlando, Florida. Ace, queen of diamonds.
Schwarman, 25 years old. His baseball cap doubles as a jigsaw puzzle.
Looks like a beanie, but there's a bill on that. A re-raise to $82,000.
Both these fellows willing to put a lot of chips in play with hands a lot worse than these.
Fold it around to the big blind. Kimura gets rid of king 6. Back to Vivek now. A lot of action so far with these hands.
Is that a double Ushka look he gave Schwarman? Those are rare.
And a 4-bet to $202,000.
Well, Vivek says if you re-raise to 82, then I'll re-raise to 202. Go ahead and 5-bet to 502, you punk.
Schwarman, ace-queen suited. And he's got position on Rajkumar in this hand. And just a call.
Schwarman declares a temporary truce.
2 similar chip stacks. Nick with a slight chip advantage right now. Here's the flop. Deuce, 6-5, 2 diamonds. Rajkumar.
Vivek should recognize that flop. It led to his river beat against Jonathan Jaffe.
No improvement for the queens. Flush draw for Schwarman. A check from Rajkumar.
And I recall Jaffe semi-bluffing in this spot.
All in.
And Nick puts Vivek all in.
I call.
And a call with his queens that lead for the moment.
A quick and correct call from Vivek Rajkumar for all his chips, but he's got a long way to go to survive.
He's going to need to sweat 2 streets in his adventure here against Schwarman. Turn card, king of hearts. Schwarman still has more than a quarter of the deck as his friend.
Schwarman looking for an ace or any diamond to knock out Vivek Rajkumar.
And the river card is a diamond. Rajkumar's gone.
I'm not sure if I have it covered.
Yeah, he had Vivek covered by less than 50,000.
Raj Kumar out of the main event, done in by 2 river diamond flushes.
694.
It's so sick because I made like a perfect range play, but that sucks. Like, I mean, I'm just saying it's...
No, I know.
Perfect range play would not be on my mind right after getting knocked out of the main event.
Congrats, man. Good luck.
Rajkumar wins almost $43,000, nearly matching his biggest World Series cash in his career. For Nick Schwarman, his stack now approaching 1.8 million chips. He builds supercars, now building a super stack.
So far in the main event, I mean, it's definitely nice to be on TV and talk with a bunch of big name professionals, and it's a little nervous at times, and you got cameras on you and everything. It's you might make a play you wouldn't normally make, or somebody might do something they might not normally make. So you kind of have to adjust and think about what they're doing, because are they nervous? Are they thinking about, oh, this hand's going to be on TV? So you definitely have to make adjustments. But overall, it's a pretty cool experience.
I never make adjustments when I'm on TV, Lon. I just say stupid stuff and hope no one notices because you say stupider stuff.
You got to play to your opponent. All right, Schwarman with Queen Jack and a raise to 38,000. Greg Merson still dropping jaws in his back-to-back runs here. Ace-9.
As world champ, Greg got to go to a Maryland NC State basketball game where they introduced him and gave him a jersey, and he got to throw out the first pitch at an Orioles-Yankees game at Camden Yards.
Merson calls to Kimo Kimura in the big blind. Ace-deuce.
Greg doesn't have the kind of chips where he can splash around, so no 3-bet there, just taking a flop in position against a notoriously aggressive player.
Kimura calls for 22,000 more.
That call, the weak ace, gets you detention at the Norman Chad School of Poker.
3 to the flop. Queen, 8. Schwarman gets smacked by that with trip queens, but can he get any action? Kimura checks.
Well, Schwarman might bet here with nothing, so he's got to bet with something.
They would expect him to, and he will not disappoint. That's 42,000. Merson now.
It's the bluffer and the bluffee, except this time the bluffer has a hand.
You see the percentages. Schwarman 96, 4 for Merson. That leaves nothing for Kima.
96 plus 4 is 100. Boy, you're right.
And the person drawing dead folds, so heads up to the turn now. Turn card now. 4 of hearts, and that brings Merson the nut flush draw.
Schwarman acting like he's afraid of the flush. But if you're wearing a plaid hat, we know you're not afraid of anything.
Schwarman checks now. Merson always looking for an opening, looking for a weakness in his opponent.
Well, the bluffee is turning into the bluffer, or semi-bluffer, if you will.
Now Greg pushing the action, 64,000.
Bluffers and bluffies all put on their pants one leg at a time. You just switch legs when you're the bluffer rather than the bluffee.
Schwarman just calls with his trips.
You can't blame Greg Merson for that bet. So many times Schwarman would have nothing in that spot.
River card is another queen quads for Schwarman.
Well, if I'm Schwarman, I would throw out a small value bet here because 1, he might think you're bluffing, or 2, Greg called the flop and bet the turn, so he might have a strong enough hand to call something here.
All in.
Nick puts Merson all in, and Merson gets rid of it.
I never would have gone all in there.
Greg wasted no time folding his cards.
I'm the worst.
Nick flashes the queen and pumps more fuel into his poker motor.
I wish I would have taken a free card then, because I had the ace of hearts.
I wish I would have checked.
I wish I hadn't proposed marriage in 1984 and 1999.
Schwarman over 2 million now. Merson moving towards Dangerville with just 27 big blinds.
Nah, he was down to 3 big blinds last year. We're fine.
Want to know more about your favorite poker players? Head over to ESPN.com/poker. Back to the outer tables. Dutch pro Michiel Brimmelhaus with ace-jack of hearts just used less than 20% of his stack to call the all-in of Scott Freeman, who's racing with pocket nines.
Brimmelhaus, 32 years old, 8 World Series cashes and 2 final tables. Freeman, 19th at the 2007 main event.
Trey King Trey, 1 heart only for Brimmelhaus. Freeman still good. Turn card, another king. Freeman just needs to fade bad juju on the river.
He needs to avoid an ace or a jack.
The river card is a jack! Brimmelhouse rivers the winner and will take the last of Freeman's small stack.
Freeman takes that matter-of-factly. He's been around these parts before.
67 bigs now for Brimmelhouse. And Scott Freeman will take his walk out of the Amazon room in 188th place, but pick up almost $43,000. Brimmelhouse, the Dutch pro, getting stronger out there in the field. Now over to the man whose wife bought him a main event seat for his birthday, Jason Cohen, all in. He flopped a straight flush draw, trails the set of eights flopped by Somar Al-Darwich.
Two former chip leaders.
Literally in your hand.
Jason is a Yankees fan, so he might think he can just buy the right Turner River card.
Ace of spades. The prettiest card in the deck. The prettiest card in the deck. Come on.
Is it a jack of diamonds on the river?
Any diamonds here? Any diamonds? How many diamonds?
Here's the turn card.
Remember now.
And Jack of diamonds, Cohen with the straight flush.
Nothing like going all in and hitting a straight flush on the turn to end matters. Happy 40th birthday again.
Oh, those Yankees. Wow, a pretty big double up, and it's the gift that keeps on giving for Jason Cohen.
That's 1.5 million.
Nice answer.
Thank you. That's on television. You need orange.
Your wife will be proud of you.
Orange or four
Yeah.
yellow.
You gotta be happy. She would have been really disappointed. She flew out and I didn't make it.
Ace of spades. The prettiest card in the deck.
Just a straight flush. Jason Cohen back in the mix here on day 5 of the main event.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Welcome back to the Amazon room at the Rio for continuing coverage of the World Series of Poker main event. We get another look at our chip leader, Kenosha, Wisconsin's Jonathan Lane.
He's made 3 World Series final tables. He'd give them all back to make this one, Lon.
There's amateur Yi Fang, who's hard to miss in the remaining field.
Poker 10, I play bet, right? Poker Ace, I'm all in.
To hear Yi is to love Yi, so we mic'd him up for a level. Take a listen.
Follow me? My purpose to come here play poker is not for money, it's for happiness. Sometimes I'm a fisherman, sometimes I'm a fish. Thank you. First hand, out the microphone, win. My luck is coming back. Maybe I take all your chips. If I win big hand, can I sing or dancing? Ole, 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 ole. I do not want to be rude to anyone. Thank you. Oh, taking your chip is my job, sir. Yeah. I hope to make anyone happy. If I have a happy day, I have a successful one day. I'm a hero. This is my wife say. Where's the money? I say casino.
I don't know if he's a hero, but he's having a great time, and it's nice he can visit his money at the casino from time to time.
Outer table, Sacramento pro, 2-time bracelet winner J.C. Tran with 8s trying to knock out pro Kyle Julius right now.
I have an over. I have one of those. I have 2 overs.
I was all in pre-flop dark. Finally looks at his cards.
Good luck, Marty.
Turn card is a queen.
More outs.
Yeah, gut shot for Julius.
Julius now looking for a 10, king, or jack.
River card. The 5 of diamonds won't be enough. Kyle Julius will lose his seat in the game.
C1.
Kyle Julius's 15th World Series cash.
This one worth almost $43,000. A nice deep run in 2013's main event. Kyle, a class act and a top pro, but the last of his chips end up in another class act stack. J.C. Tran on the move. Tonight's bracelet moments are presented by PokerNews.com. Omaha High-Low 8 or better was the golden game for 2 first-time bracelet winners here in 2013, with Kalen McNeil grabbing the victory in the $1,500 event, earning him over $277,000. That was the same amount that went to Albuquerque's Danny Fuse, who was the last player standing in the $5,000 buy-in event. The Players just took a break. During that time, Kara Scott caught up with a young pro from Orlando.
Nick Schwarman came to the feature table with about 800,000 and quickly ran it up to over 2 million. So talk to me about how your luck's been running.
Today it's been pretty good. I had a rough day yesterday, lost a lot of my chips. Came here today with like 650,000 and got moved to the feature table over here. It was just all uphill from there. I won an enormous flip for like 1.7 million and got a little lucky there, spiked a diamond on the river, and it's just been uphill from there. So hopefully it'll continue.
Well, you're playing on the feature table, a little bit extra pressure, the lights, all of the attention. You're also sitting at a pretty tough table. You know, Greg Merson's there as well, and Jaffe. So how are you dealing with that?
It's not too bad. I played here a bunch yesterday, so that kind of helps to ease the nerves a little bit. I definitely have some tough competitors out there. Merson's, of course, always a force to be reckoned with. So hopefully I'll keep running good and see if we can accumulate some more chips.
Nick sticks with his style. Let me see if I can run over the table, and well, once in a while, I'll get run over.
Nick and that man, Brett Ritchie, two of the bigger stacks at this table. It's Merson who has the actual uphill slog at this point. Jan Dion opened for 40,000. Brett Ritchie folds out of turn. Not your turn, Brett.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Schwarman now with pocket sixes, calls for 40,000.
By the way, I've mentioned in previous telecasts that Greg Merson is the first main event champ to cash the following year since Joe Hashem. I am incorrect. Peter Eastgate finished 78th in 2009, the year after he won it all.
Nikolai Sears folds his big blind, so heads up Jan Dion, ace-5 suited against Nick Schwarman's sixes. The two big stacks at this featured table. Here is the flop. 6, ace-4, a set of sixes for Schwarman. Top pair, but it's a 10-to-1 dog for Dion.
Kiefer Sutherland over there started playing poker during breaks on a set of 24, and that led him to this main event.
Dion checks.
Schwarman likes to snowboard. He didn't have to put that on his bio sheet. I would have just assumed that's a given.
And with his set, no slow play. That's 85,000 into the Quebec City Canadian.
Well, it's the story of the weak ace again, Lon. You walk around with the weak ace, and you're never sure if it's strong enough. That's why it's called the weak ace.
Dion comes along. Turn card now. 9 of spades. Dion with a flush draw. That might keep him around.
Hey, if I'm Jack Bauer, there's just no way to protect the weak ace at this point.
Dion checks. Now Schwarman.
In what other job in the world could you wear a backwards plaid baseball cap and command respect?
190,000. Dion has some seriously strong online scores and $500,000 in live winnings as well.
Now he's getting 2.5 to 1 on a call here, but Dion is more than a 4 to 1 dog. But with implied odds, this isn't the worst call in the world.
That's a check call again. Almost 700,000 in the middle. River card deuce of diamonds, and Dion comes up with another weak ace result. Checks again.
And that's a pretty safe board for middle set.
Nick Schwarman getting busy.
Is he preparing a magic trick?
He is putting out a lot of chips. Orange and green combined. Over-betting the pot. That's over 1 million chips.
Yeah, way over-betting the pot. Trying to disguise his monster as a bluff.
Dion with top pair. And a busted flush draw. And he can't continue.
Another big river bet by Schwarman. Doesn't work out the way he wants it to. That's what happened against Greg Merson.
Nick continues his march onward. Whether it's uphill or downhill is irrelevant. The stack is growing. Let's check in now on Augie Spets. Pre-flop action. Spets open for 40,000 with king-queen suited. Clyde Chow Fu re-raised with ace-king.
This is Norway versus the Netherlands.
And Spets' game. Two players trying to get some much-needed momentum here in the main event. Chow Fu with his first World Series cash, making it a deep run in the main event. Here's the flop. King, 6, 10 kings for both. Chow Fu with the best kicker. Spets with a flush draw now, 2. Spets checks.
And Spets looks like he's just waiting for a bet so he can check raise all in.
Chow Fu with a stack of orange and a yellow. That's 101,000.
Even with that big flop for Spets, he is an underdog right now. And it doesn't look like he's going to check raise all in.
We saw his suspicious look at his opponent. 4 green and 1 yellow. That's 101,000 as well. So they build a pot. Turn card, tray of spades. Spets gets the flush, thus giving Tiao Fu the nut flush draw. Spets checks.
What a turn card for Spets. And yes, you have the ace of spades. And yes, as Somar Al-Darwich put it so eloquently earlier, it's the prettiest card in the deck. Lana, if all the chips don't get into the middle now, I'm going to move to Norway, and you're going to move to the Netherlands.
Now here comes some chips. 202,000.
I'm all in.
Cool.
And an all-in and a call. Spets at risk and ahead. But he's not out of the woods yet.
Indeed, the Dutchman can still take this pot back and knock Spets out with a river spade.
Spets at risk. He started the hand with a below-average stack. Every chip he collects right now critical to his efforts. The river card is another king, and that will secure the double up for Augie Spets.
Oh, that came in Norwegian, sorry. Damn.
That wasn't Norwegian.
River comes up anyway.
Tiao Fu will ship 60% of his stack to Augie Spets.
Put him all in already, so can afford 300.
Oh yeah, he's like 100. Sorry about that.
Give me a hand for it.
No.
I'm still here.
Yeah, but you lost a lot, sorry.
I thought I was going. I'm staying, bro. I'm sorry, I'm still here.
Yeah, but sorry for losing chips though.
I get them back. One more?
You know, I just saw a black card, I got completely it's not happening again, you know. I had so many bad beats in my life. So
so many bad beats.
How many? If you were to count, how many did you actually have?
You double check. Okay. 440.
This was like gin.
I should have like 1 point.
Gin on the turn.
1.3 million. Wow.
Going out of position with the king queen.
What a sick flop, what a sick turn. And what a great river.
If you're keeping track at home, that was sick, great. The net result, Augie Spets has a very workable stack early here on day 5. The World Series of Poker, big business now. You can get your shirt personally embroidered outside the Amazon room. They'll even write Squadouche on your shirt if you want. Back to the featured table, Nick Schwarman has the most chips here with 2.3 million. He folds to the talented Mr. Ritchie on his left, ace king of spades, a raise to 40,000. Merson with ace deuce of diamonds.
Ritchie hasn't played many hands. I don't know if I want my man messing around with a weak ace and a relatively short stack in this spot.
Sorry, he's messing around with 24 big blinds.
Bad timing for Merson here. The defending champ is crushed by Ritchie's ace-king.
Well, Merson knows your all-ins have to have some meat on them. But ace deuce of diamonds is in trouble, and a quick call from Ritchie and Greg Merson, the defending champ, at risk.
Merson pushed with 24 big blinds there. Ritchie half-jokingly said at the start of day 5 he was going to bust Greg Merson, and now he's in position to do it.
Oh, that's right, he did. And Merson's face tells the story. Here is the flop trait. King deuce, Merson connects, but Ritchie scores top pair.
Yeah, just a flicker of hope in that flop for Greg Merson.
The title defense unraveling for Greg Merson right now. Turn card, 9 of spades, no help to Greg.
Ritchie looking for the knockout. Merson's got to have a deuce or the defending champ is done.
Merson needs it now, the river card. The 4 of spades. Ritchie wins the hand and knocks out Greg Merson. The main event champ is gone.
The 25-year-old played awfully well for 5 days in defense of his title.
167th place will stand as an amazing encore to his 2012 victory.
Good luck, buddy. Rep the company.
Yeah, I'm doing my best.
Good luck. Hope to see you at the
Greg,
final
well
table.
liked and respected among his peers. And we did hear Brett joke about knocking out Merson, and by golly, he did it. So Greg's elimination means there's going to be a new champ, Jonathan Lane, in the lead right now.
Greg Merson in back-to-back main event fields of 6,000 plus, wins it all and then finishes 167th. Just a terrific showing.
Down to Kara with the 2012 main event champ.
We've lost Greg Merson from this event, but reflecting back on your year as the champion of the main event of the World Series of Poker, what really will stand out for you?
The relief that someone else is going to be in my shoes for the next year. I mean, it's been fun, and I'm grateful for a lot of the opportunities I've had, but you know, being in the spotlight as much as I have been is not really something that I enjoy that much. So it's kind of a relief busting, and I'm happy with how far I went and how I played. And so.
The reality of the main event is that only one player will be truly happy with his or her play.
That was him. That's how you busted last year.
Last year, that player was Greg Merson. This year, it is not. Greg Merson, 2012 main event champion with an impressive 2013 run. What Greg Merson did in 2012 and 2013 will forever be remembered in poker history. But now, it is someone else's turn to take the poker spotlight.
Chip it! Yes.
There's some really, really good poker players in there, and I'm playing with them at least for another day, so that's kind of exciting.
Tournament's going great for me so far. I think I'm just trying to play solid, play pots in position against people, deep stack, try to make big hands and get paid off.
Wow. It's the dream, you know? You have this big prize and you really can change your life a little bit.
Just 154 players with chips in their stacks. Who will follow Greg Merson as main event champion? The champ is gone, but the champ is also here at the Rio. I'm Lon McCarran with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. Day 5 rolls on as the November 9 nears. Facebook engineer Ola Ogalola just moved all in with Jack 5 suited, waiting for Byron Coverman's decision.
Coverman, 26-year-old Ohio pro. This would be for less than 10% of his stack.
And Coverman calls.
It's a terrible hand.
I mean, how bad is it?
Terrible hand.
Is Henry kidding me?
He made a
He made a face. He thought he had a random play.
the old 5 big blinds all in face.
I win. I was like, what face is that?
The amateurs had a great time here. Got to play at the feature table with Phil Ivey. He needs a little luck to stick around a little longer.
No help on the flop, but still 2 live cards. But Coverman pairs up Ola now with just 3 outs.
Ola's got to have a jack.
The river card is an ace, 2 pair for Coverman. That's the end of the road for Ola Ogalola.
No, I was like,
154th place.
That's all I was like, what face? I don't understand.
Ola's incredible journey is complete. He outlasted almost 98% of the field. Around the room now, 2012 Octo-Niner Steve G, the only player left from last year's final table. JC Tran with a below-average stack, but he's as solid as they come. Jonathan Lane has held the Day 5 chip lead for a while, keeps trending in the right direction.
A bit too serious. He needs to room with Brett Favre for a while.
There you see Lane on top, Canadian attorney Jason Mann in second, Grayson Ramage in sixth, 153 players left.
Amateur Dan Owen in 4th place, 65 years old. Maybe we can sneak a senior into the November 9 this year.
Annette Oberstadt and Yevgeny Timoshenko survived their Day 4 encounters with healthy stacks. Max Steinberg falling fast.
Annette, one of 4 women still here, along with Jackie Glazier, Kim Kimura, and Beverly Lang.
So the march towards the November 9, relentless as always. Keep accumulating or watch it on TV. In the hoodies, Sergio Castelluccio flopped a pair of kings. No match against the aces of Annette.
Battle of the sunglasses. Castelluccio, Danny Masterson's stunt double on that 70s poker show.
135,000 from each turn card. Another 4 aces up versus kings up. Castelluccio checks.
When Annette won the World Series Europe main event in 2007, that was worth $2 million. That still represents more than half of her career live tournament winnings.
Oberstadt was reaching for chips and does bet $275,000.
Castelluccio has been married 2 years. His wife originally came to him from guitar lessons 9 years ago, and after 7 years of instruction, they got married. Guitar courtships are always the best.
And he commits the chips to call. Castelluccio with his first World Series cash here, but $1.5 million in cashes elsewhere. River card, Queen of Diamonds, puts a 3rd diamond on board. And Castelluccio checks again.
The month after she won World Series Europe, Annette was second at the EPT Dublin event for nearly $500,000, and since then, she's gone from being very spectacular to just very good.
And $500,000 chips here now from Annette.
You know, people seem to take their sunglasses off for big decisions, Lon. I leave them on year-round because there are big decisions every day.
And Castelluccio gives up his hand, and Annette will take that pot. So Oberstad trying to win the main event here in Vegas, too.
Annette ahead every step of the way, and she played it like she was ahead every step of the way, but her sunglasses should come off, too.
With Greg Merson out of the picture, it's a certainty that there will be a new main event champion. And invariably, the question will be asked of the remaining players, who would make a good ambassador as the next main event champ? Who would represent the poker community well, Norman?
Greg Merson says he wasn't comfortable in the ambassador's role, and I accept that. But come on, poker ambassador? One of the easiest jobs ever. You travel the world with millions in your pocket, shaking hands, kissing babies, and smiling pleasantly when someone beats you. Basically, you just have fun playing the game you love. Heck, I would make a great poker ambassador. Well, other than the fact that I can't play poker and don't smile much.
The halves at the feature table do have a lot of chips. 2 players over $2 million. If Nick Schwerman is poker's next ambassador, plaid ball caps for everyone.
Jonathan Jaffe looks like a poker ambassador.
Yeah, you're right about that, Norman. He seems to be very much in his element right here at this featured table under the bright lights. And you see in the background a new player, Yi Fang, will be joining the featured table. Jan Dion under the gun, 10-7. Folds to Jonathan Jaffe.
How you doing, boss?
With aces.
Good. Good. Nice. 45.
Raise to 45,000.
You heard the raise. Brett Ritchie now. Folds queen tray and Yi Fang now.
You have 3,000 Annie, and it's been raised.
Can I please his hand?
45.
You may recall Yi Fang from being mic'd up for us.
Can I please his hand?
Yeah, you're allowed to.
He wore that mic out.
No rush.
Well, if Yi Fang were a poker ambassador, there'd be a poker revolution. The streets would be filled with poker neophytes having fun and playing Queen 10 before their chips are even out of the rack.
And he's bringing almost 1,900,000 chips to this table. And he's going to re-raise it to 70,000 before he sits down.
That's how you hit the ground running at the featured table, Lon.
It's fine.
And Jonathan Jaffe is salivating patiently at the other end of the table.
Fang, born in China, now lives with his wife and 3 kids in Vancouver. All right, that business out of the way. Nikolai Sears looks down at King 4 and folds.
Sir, I tell you, I'm a lucky man. So, it's a public secret.
There we go.
I'm stupid, crazy, and lucky.
Good combo.
Reporter folds. Back to Jaffe with the aces.
My English is not good. Sometimes I cannot understand what you're talking about.
170 more?
I like this guy.
170,000 more.
Jaffe with a 4-bet to 240.
I cover you, right?
Yeah, but I have a big hand.
170 more.
You need me to kick you out the first hand?
240,000.
I have a big hand.
That is now 240,000.
How big you mean? How much for?
240 total.
Boy, talk about Yi hitting the ground running, Norman. He makes the call.
Well, he calls the 4-bet without further comment.
Well, everyone interested in what's going to happen here. Here's the flop. Queen 7-8. Fang pairs his queen, but still, he's not good enough for the aces of Jaffe.
You know, once again, top pair no good. The over pair is better.
Jaffe first to act here.
300.
That's 300,000.
You don't know I love lady? I'm all in.
I call.
Here we go. Welcome to the table.
I love lady. Lady, come in.
Yi Fang confident.
I love lady. Lady, come in. Please, lady, lady, lady.
See, these two could be like Penn and Teller.
All right, turn card is a jack, provides Fang a few more outs.
9, 10, queen. Then I will say, ole, 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 ole. We are the champion.
If I lose, I hope you win, sir.
Okay.
I hope you take the tournament.
9-10 queen, 9-10 queen. Please, please, please.
Jaffe close to a big double up here.
And here's the river. It's a blank. Fang will send most of his chips to Jaffe after the aces hold up.
Yeah. I'm a good man, right? I sit down, first hand double up. I'm making you happy.
If I lost, I could feel good losing to you because you're a character. You're a good dude.
I like Jonathan Jaffe a lot, but strangely, I was rooting for Yi Fang on that one.
Jaffe right now with over 2.8 million reasons to flash that smile.
I love ladies, so lady come here, I'm all in.
I know. It was verified.
Oh.
Verified.
I need a 9-10 queen and a miss.
Another reason why we love the main event so much. What a melting pot it is.
You don't know I love lady? I'm all in.
I call.
I love lady. Lady, come in. Please, lady, lady, lady. 9-10 queen, 9-10 queen. Please, please, please. 9. Oh. About 4 months ago, I played San Francisco. I'm all in, ace king. Other guy open poker aces. Then flop 10 jack. Then I say,
Lady.
I love lady. Other liver lady coming. So without the lady, I'm not powerful.
Were you lucky chances?
Yeah.
Does this guy make an entrance or what?
Yeah, maybe they won. Well, he said San Francisco, so 40.
All right, Jaffe back in business with 7 deuce. He goes from the best starting hand on Hold'em to the worst.
Is there a 7 deuce bonus here like they used to have on high stakes poker?
Yeah, exactly. A raise to 40,000. Fang called with queen 10 again. Nikolai Sears with ace king suited.
After college, he worked for an e-commerce store that sells mosaic glass tile. I hate buying mosaic glass tile online.
And he re-raises all in.
Well, 7 deuce always shrinks when someone raises all in behind you.
It shrinks from what? All right, Jaffe just saving a little face here.
Okay, I call.
And a call from Fang with queen 10 again, and he's in trouble again.
Of course he calls. He's got a lucky lady.
I think he feels okay about it.
Ah, the ladies.
I have a lady I always call.
It's not the most solid theoretical poker.
Lady.
Lady coming on the liver. On the
Fang has Sears covered by about 300,000. Here's the flop. Top 2 for Sears.
Jack.
You need her boyfriend.
Broadway draw for Fang.
Her son. Or standard.
I first double up, then double up. I'm come here as a donation.
Turn card. 5 of hearts, no help to Fang.
Fang still looking for a jack to knock out Nikolai Sears.
Can Fang pull this one out, or will he lose another chunk of chips? The 9 of diamonds brings Sears the double up.
Well, Yi Fang doesn't appear headed to the main event title, but he can be my poker ambassador any day of the week.
So Sears doubles up, still short with just 23 big blinds. Fang loses 38% of his stack in that hand.
Yeah, Yi is running out of double up chips.
All right, let's go from one feature table to another. 2 big hands clashing. Alexander Livingston on the right with queens, just 4 bet. On his right with kings is Marvin Rettenmaier.
Both these guys would make wonderful poker ambassadors. You know, I just had a thought. Marvin loves to play the guitar. If he had met Sergio Castelluccio's wife first, she might have married him, and Sergio might be wearing a scarf.
It is a small world in the poker circles. Marvin Rettenmaier moves all in with his kings.
Livingston doesn't like it.
Sick. Obviously, I'm not slow rolling this.
Yeah, that's a 5 bet all in from Rettenmaier. Livingston is the big stack at this table, but this would be for 2/3 of his remaining chips. Marvin wouldn't bluff shove, would he? Livingston's thinking he must have a monster.
This is a blind-on-blind confrontation.
I call.
He calls with the queens, and these two have created a tremendous pot of over $3 million.
Alex shakes his head. I guess Livingston hoped it would be ace-king or jacks he'd see.
Rettenmaier, the player, at risk, but he's way ahead as the chips go in the middle.
6. Sorry in advance if I suck.
Just don't do it.
Livingston would have 440,000 left if he lost. 3 million chips in the middle.
Probably supposed to fold.
Livingston's queens trying to take out Rettenmeier's kings, and there's a queen, sorry, in advance.
That's an unlucky lady for Rettenmaier, but at least he's picked up an up and down straight draw.
Plenty of hand left here. Turn card is a king, and Rettenmaier fires back and takes the lead. Oh,
it's a good card.
Pretty decent card.
Will you take a chop?
Now they both have the same open-ender.
They would chop the pot with a river 9 or ace. Otherwise, Livingston can only bust Rettenmaier with the last queen in the deck.
Here is the river card. Oh, the 9, and they will chop it up. Oh.
I know it's coming too. It's so sick.
2 gentlemen chop a big one improbably.
I probably should fold. It's a really disgusting spot.
Oh my goodness, Norman. What a hand.
Sorry in advance if I suck.
Not often you see a chop with so much drama. Every street brought different size of relief. In the end, Rettenmaier and Livingston about where they started. Welcome back to day 5 of the World Series of Poker Main Event. We're under 150 players in the Amazon room, 17 tables in action, and former financial services employee Chris Lynn, the new chip leader. Action underway at an outer table. Sacramento pro J.C. Tran with ace-king of hearts. Called the all-in of David Cossio, who has 2 red queens.
Cossio, one-time math professor with 12 World Series cashes.
The race ended. I'm only using my one time right now.
Well, it is for 80% of Tran's stack, so that's good one-time management.
All right, the flop, Jack 7, Jack. Queens up for Cossio, still in the lead.
Cossio in good shape.
Okay.
Turn card now. And JC hits his card. Cossio in trouble.
Cossio's got to have a queen.
The river card is a tray, and that will do it for Cossio. JC Tran with the knockout.
Tough beat for Cossio, and I wouldn't want to go either. His second main event cash in 4 years.
This one is worth nearly $51,000. Eliminated in 147th place. Nice run for the former university math professor. Big pot for JC, very nearly a double up for him. Big gamble in that spot, but it paid off. To learn more about JC Tran or your favorite poker player, head over to ESPN.com/poker. Back to the feature table. Yifang's stock and stack have plummeted here on day 5, having lost over 1 million chips. Most of them to that guy, Jonathan Jaffe. And he'll take a spin with Queen 10.
Oh, Jaffe loves the ladies.
A raise to 40,000. Fang calls on the big blind.
I got your lovely lady here.
These two have a thing going on already. Here is the flop. 7-7 Jack. Jaffe still ahead. Fang checks. That's 32,000.
You win, sir.
Fang goes all in, and Jaffe folds quickly.
Jaffe took a stab, and then Fang with the nice play.
Sometimes I give you a chance to make a mistake.
That's what you did there, and I did. I walked right into the bear trap.
Well, took a little bit, but Fang wins his first pot at the featured table. This is his second World Series of Poker Main Event. He played back in 2011, but didn't cash. Fang lives in Vancouver with his wife and 3 kids, and poker is just one of his hobbies.
He studied geology at the University of China. You know, I don't recall us having a geologist at the main event before, Lon, and well, they are fun.
Yeah, the closest we may have come is a fossil man, Norman.
Good point.
All right, we'll keep it here at the featured table. Nick Schwarman in middle position with 9-8.
The closest Schwarman's ever come to geology is going to the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Nick raised, Fang moved all in.
Fang trying to win back-to-back hands without a queen in his hand.
Any takers? Not from Sears. In the big blind, Alex Billiker. No thank you. Schwarman gives it up, and Fang will take it down again.
Gluing up.
Yi Fang has a lot of ground to cover to recapture the stack he brought to this featured table, but he's doing his best.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh, yeah.
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
140 players remaining at this 2013 World Series of Poker main event. That number keeps dwindling and the pressure keeps increasing. We've got a new featured table lineup. 07 World Series of Poker Europe main event champ Annette Oberstadt is here, as is 24-year-old Max Steinberg. He took out Phil Ivey back on day 3. Two-time bracelet winner J.C. Tran comes to the bright lights after eliminating David Cossio a moment ago. And Jonathan Jaffe is still here, an accomplished pro. Though, when this main event is over, he has a unique job to return to.
Jonathan Jaffe, currently a professional poker player and a dolphin trainer in training. I've always been interested in marine life, and when I found out about the SeaWorld Bait Boy program, I just joined up, and now I try and be a trainer for a living. Right now, I'm kind of just in charge of the bait for the dolphins and feeding them. I don't get to actually do the training so much as the rewarding, but it's a nice part because you get to make the dolphins happy. It's quite a grind becoming a dolphin trainer. It's like 50 hours a week. As far as actually spending time with the dolphins, it's less than 10 of the hours. You're really just learning all the ins and outs behind the scenes. Dolphins are just fascinating creatures, you know. They're smarter than some poker players, and they're definitely, you know, they're characters. They have personalities, and I just like spending time with them. I just enjoy leading a balanced life, kind of having, you know, a lot of things on the side. Dolphin training really keeps my head close to the ground. I try not to really think big picture and how this run in the main event affects my career per se, but it's just fun playing it, and I'm gonna play as well as I can and have as good a time as I can while I do.
I believe he said dolphins are smarter than some poker players. I want names and I want them now.
Oberstadt opened for 40,000 with a king-queen suited. Jaffe has Lady Fever, makes the call with queen 5.
He also mentioned learning the ins and outs behind the scenes. Behind the scenes? Is there some dolphin subculture of clubbing and prop bets?
Jaffe catches middle pair, and that is the best hand right now. He checks. Annette just caught one spade in the flop, but she's going to bet 55,000.
It's just so stressful playing out of position against a player like Annette Oberstadt. It's like going from training dolphins to swimming with sharks.
Jaffe, with the best of it, makes the call with a pair of 5s. Turn card. Jack of spades. Jaffe's still good, but can he convince himself of that? Annette picked up a flush draw. Jaffe checks again.
And Annette might feel empowered now, picking up that spade draw to continue with her scallywagging, swaggle-foosing, shimmy-shamming ways.
Yep, she is reaching for some of her arsenal. That's 135,000.
She's a double-barreled shimmy-shammer.
That's 135,000.
Now Jaffe with third pair. Makes that call, wants to stick around.
He's a non-believer here with third pair. That's impressive. And I assume he thinks Annette is smarter than a dolphin.
River card now, 8 of hearts, and Jaffe's fourth pair now is the best hand.
Yeah, at what point of this hand was he going to feel comfortable with a pair of 5s?
Jonathan checks a third time.
Does she have a triple barrel shimmy sham bluff in her?
Oh, are you kidding? Of course she does. But does she want to use it here?
She's going to.
You're right about that. That's 260,000 from Annette Oberstadt.
And it's actually so much easier to make that bet than to make this call. When you put pressure on your opponent, all the tough decisions are on your opponent.
Time for some soul searching from Jaffe.
Raise.
What?
I didn't expect to hear a raise there, and that will be that one. The dolphin trainer's a shark himself.
So Jaffe puts out the chips to call as Annette waits to see how much Jaffe will raise. Jonathan Jaffe surprising everyone here, raises to $740,000, and then Annette mucks.
Her shimmy sham was undone.
Boy, not many players have that maneuver in their bag. Yeah, the best hand won, but it was impressive nonetheless. Annette giving up some chips. Tough hand to make heads or tails of. Let's see what Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke thought about it in tonight's edition of Pro Analysis.
When I watch this hand play out, I think of chess, in which two high-level opponents are trying to outmaneuver each other.
Right. This hand also illustrates some of the difficulties in playing face rag hand, even if it's suited. You can be overcoded, you can get into these spots. This is a spot where Jaffe wiggles himself out of it, but he doesn't have to be in this spot to begin with. He didn't have to play it.
Right. Now, I'm not saying you should fold this hand, but out of position against a high-level player, you can get yourself in these really tricky spots. But I have to give credit where credit is due. He's capable of taking a one-pair hand that might be the best hand and actually turning it into a massive bluff and representing something that is much, much bigger. In fact, even if Annette had aces, it's very difficult for her to call. So, kudos.
I didn't understand a word they said. Then again, I prefer checkers to chess.
So Jaffe takes some chips off Annette, who lost 18% of her stack, still over $2 million. To an outer table where Mr. Fang sits now. He still has chips, nearly $400,000, but they're in the middle with ace-5 against the pocket jacks of former online phenom David Benefield.
Benefield, one of the sharpest young minds in poker, so it's the poker thinker against, I guess, the poker binker.
Fang trying to double through the man better known as Raptor in the online world.
Oh, 5-5.
Bink, bink, bink.
He's standing, but no long speech. I guess he left all his talking chips at the feature table, but he does hit top pair to take the lead.
He's got the lead, but Benefield now has a heart draw.
Turn card now. Is a heart. Benefield turns the winning flush. Fang drawing dead. Out with a flourish.
Yes, and now.
138th place for Yi Fang. The last of his chips go to Benefield as Fang ends a run that he and anyone who came into contact with him will not soon forget.
It's not for money. It's for happiness. Sometimes I'm a fisherman. Sometimes I'm a fish. Sometimes I give you a chance to make a mistake. I'm stupid, crazy, and lucky. I say, ole, 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 ole. I love lady. Lady, come in. Please, lady, lady, lady. No.
The main event rolls on day 5 with the final table the first week of November, $8.3 million to the champion. At an outer table, Ramzi Jalasi on the left put in the final raise. He's all in with kings. Grayson Ramage called with jacks. 6 ace 4, Jalasi's kings. Don't have to worry about that ace. Turn card another 6. One card to come. Jalasi looking to double up. The river card is a jack, though, and Ramage hits the winner on the river and scores the knockout.
Ramage just overwhelmed with emotion. That river card just seemed bloodless and heartless. Jalasi took that final punch right in the gut, and he took it well.
Eliminated in 133rd position.
His second main event cash in 5 years.
Ramage will sit behind 2.8 million chips, and he takes the win in stride.
I think Ramage missed his calling as a compliance auditor.
Elsewhere, we've got Morgenstern on Morgenstern. God in the red with ace high. Just saw Anton, no relation, in the black, bet with pocket aces.
That's the German Morgenstern with pocket aces and the Israeli Morgenstern with nothing.
Anton bet 150. God just raised Anton all in on the bluff.
A Morgenstern should never try to bluff a Morgenstern. I believe you must answer for it in the afterlife. God runs this bluff because he has the ace of spades, which means Anton can't have the nuts.
Anton does make the call with the aces after some thought and will take a monster pot.
One Morgenstern now has a lot of chips, and the other Morgenstern does not.
Anton Morgenstern, the one with a ton of chips. 3.9 million now to work with. The other Morgenstern, not so much. So with that pot, Anton Morgenstern, as they count out the exact double up, will be among the chip leaders on day 5 here of the main event.
22-year-old poker pro with dual citizenship in the U.S. and Germany.
Looking at that World Series fact, one of Porter's bracelets is for Raz. He's only 42, Norman. Raz is for crotchety old guys who tell you to get off the grass.
He must be a crotchety young guy.
Rep Porter with Jack 4 offsuit, folds to Max Steinberg in the cutoff. King Deuce of Hearts. He is short stacked, and he maybe could use a little white magic advice from Phil Hellmuth.
Max, you have the King Deuce of Hearts. What are you putting this chip down? What are you studying for? Fold. But if you want to get creative, I understand you only have 320,000 in chips. The big blind is 24,000. You have 13 big blinds. You only have 3 people to act behind you. Moving all in is okay. It's just not a horrible play here. Not something I would want to do. Making it 3 big blinds is also okay. You really don't want to make it 2 and let anybody else in there and take a flop and get in trouble. I would like to see you fold, but if not, move in. 13 big blinds.
Max cutting out, just calling chips.
I don't think call was on White Magic's menu here, and I'll stand with my poker brat on this one. Why, Max? Why?
Max is not a cookie cutter style of player, though. We know that.
Steinberg has said his style is unorthodox, and a limp right here supports that.
Ashton Griffin came into the pot with Jack 9 of spades, and now the big blind Eli Heath with 5-4 of clubs gets to check his option.
Heath, a 25-year-old UK pro with a degree in business.
All right, here's the flop. 3-way action. 5-4 ace. Hello, big blind special. Griffin missed, but bottom 2 pair for Eli Heath. Griffin checked. And now Heath. Bets 36,000. A wheel draw for Steinberg.
Oh, thankfully, Max effectively missed that flop, so he can fold to this bet.
Max.
Oh, never mind.
He does not listen to the best poker players in the world, nor you. A call.
Can we bring Phil Hellmuth back here? What the heck with Max?
Griffin exits the scene. So heads up, Heath and Steinberg. Turn card now. King of diamonds that hits Steinberg, but his pair of kings and draw are still far behind.
And of course, Heath has got to love his 2 baby pair in this spot.
That is 67,000.
By the way, Max would make a great poker ambassador. Plus, anytime he's tired or busy, he can just send out his twin brother, Danny, and nobody would know the difference.
Good point.
All in.
Steinberg says all in.
Wow. Max might think he's best there. This is actually for more than 1/3 of Heath's remaining chips.
Might be slow rolling.
Heath makes the call.
You have an ace? No, I have 2 pair.
What?
Oh, all right, I have tons of those.
And Max Steinberg, who's had a fine World Series, is staring at the end of his poker summer.
Good call.
Now, Max still with 12 outs, but I just don't know why he put himself in this position.
Really high or really low?
And the river card is the Queen of Hearts. Heath's 2 pair will knock out Max Steinberg, his 5th cash of this World Series. And it all comes on the heels of his 2nd place finish at the National Championship.
He does play some great poker, but it didn't have to end that way.
It ends in 131st place. Heath crosses into the Millionaires Club with the help of Max Steinberg's entire stack. Max should be quite proud of his efforts here in Las Vegas. Tonight's Bracelet Moments are presented by PokerNews.com. This summer, 3 female sharks won no-limit hold'em bracelets at the World Series, including Dana Castaneda, who won almost $500,000 in a $1,000 buy-in. Lonnie Harwood made 3 final tables in 2013 and finally struck gold in a $1,500 event. And Ladies Championship winner Kristen Bicknell took home over $170,000. Here's a look at the women remaining in this year's main event field. Glazier, Oberstad, Lang, and Kimura, 2 with above-average stacks, 2 needing a double-up.
Beverly Lang, a Texas amateur who's very serious about poker. Her company, Showtime International, puts on halftime shows with drill teams, and she's having the time of her life at this main event.
Lang in a hand with Brandon Steven. The river card's out. Beverly with just jacks up, waiting on Brandon Steven, who has at least kings up. He bets $167,000, and Beverly moves all in.
And if Steven calls here, Beverly Lang is out. Steven, Wichita car dealer, was the November 9 Bubble Boy in 2010, 10th at that main event. He's a very serious amateur.
Nice check on the turn. Very nice check on the turn.
This would be for 1/3 of Steven's stack.
What do you think I have?
A busted flush draw.
No. I don't have that, man. I got 2 pair. You got 2 pair too, right? Huh? 150. Actually, I lied to you. 268 more. I lied to you. I do have a busted flush draw with my 2 pair.
He must have a kicker problem with his king.
Young lady, will you show up if I fold? I'll show you my hand.
I never know what to say when people ask me.
No, just the truth. Will you show up if I fold?
Okay.
You will?
Yeah.
Do you want to call?
If I have the best hand, I want to call.
Well, you probably know if you have the best hand, I think. Huh?
Huh?
You probably know if you have the best hand, right? I'm pretty sure you think you have the best hand. Would it surprise you if I had a king? Does that surprise you?
No.
It wouldn't surprise you at all? You're the best. What are you doing, Austin?
I own Showtime International. I put on summer drill team high kick pom-pom cans and competitions for drill teams.
Yeah?
Bowl game half times. I've done 30 bowl game half times. Big
Really?
organizing thing.
Play a lot of poker?
Yeah, but you know, it's Texas. We don't have any casinos. We just have home games and everybody takes turns dealing. So just for fun. Travel a lot. Go out of state, you know, to other places. All our tax money is going to those surrounding states. We'll figure it out pretty soon. To get all that so we can legalize it in Texas.
She seems comfortable and confident, like she has the best hand.
I hate to be wrong.
And has Steven confused.
I don't know if you must have an ace of spades, right? Ace of spades, king of hearts. No, I don't think you have the ace of spades. You're going to drill it on the turn, right?
I'm not really that good of a poker player, so don't try to figure out, like, you know, what I should have done, because what you would expect me to do is probably not something I would do. Does that help you?
It helps me. I know I have the best. I know I have the worst hand, and I'm probably still gonna call. There's so much.
If you have the worst hand, I definitely want you to call.
I have. You know what I have. It's pretty
Yes.
obvious, right?
Yes.
What do you think I have?
You already told me what you have.
I did not. I couldn't say that. I couldn't.
Oh.
That would be.
Let's talk about the hands.
JT would kick me out.
Talk about the hand. Don't talk about what they have.
$268.
If he calls, she's gone.
I guess you're gonna show me if I fold if I can save $268,000. Sorry, guys. I thought you were the same.
That's not a calling motion.
What was your name? I totally forgot. You told me. What was your name?
Beverly. Lang. What's your name?
Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Nice to meet you. I think you play better than you say you do. Beverly?
Yes, dear.
I'm just gonna fold.
You're folding.
Fold. I want to see your cards.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
King's full.
Oh! A dagger to the heart of Brandon Steven.
Is that hers?
Yes.
That was the sickest thing.
Thank you, Brandon.
Very, very nice.
Whoa.
I actually didn't think it was a bluff. I thought I had the best hand.
Oh, value bet.
Well,
Hints,
that's the reason why I folded. I knew.
hints, don't try to figure me out when she said that.
I did. I said, don't try to figure me out.
Yeah,
I'm
not
exactly
gonna
sure what I'm doing.
Wow.
Not expect to see anything, folks.
Okay.
Sure you're not a pro, Beverly?
I'm positive. Little girl from Texas that loves to play poker.
Ouch. Beverly from Austin, Texas.
Held a 10-minute conversation.
That was dope.
National TV. Flip over Jackson. Yeah.
That's like one of the most interesting poker hands ever. I think.
Beverly Lang with the hand and bluff, intentional or not, of the main event so far. In the hat on the left, Massachusetts poker pro Ronnie Barta happily re-raised all in with aces and a short stack, waiting on a very dour-looking Dutchman, Joran Valthaus, holding king 10 of clubs.
Barta and Christian Harder both tied the main event record this year with their 4th straight cash.
They had the dealer dancing in her seat as well.
I tried to give him the warning. I gave him the beat.
Let's get booked on the script somewhere.
Valthaus calls. Barta shows him the bad news. Barta way ahead, but at risk. Valthaus flops a two-way straight draw. Turn card now. Valthaus with a flush draw. The river card brings a straight and the flush to shrivel the pocket aces and send Ronnie Barta to find another dance floor.
Barta, another fellow who would be a great ambassador.
I gave the beat and everything. He still 3 bets. I gave you the beat and everything. He still 3 bets king high. I gave him the beat too, and I busted. Like, so sick. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You know, you get in with aces. You know, if I can win that hand with aces there, I make another deep run in this thing. I have 800,000, and they just can't move me. That's the way they have to move me. When I get 2 aces, is the only way they can move me. So, 4th in a row, I can't complain. I made another deep finish. I'll be back here next year. You guys will see me again, that's for sure. Thanks for all the support, guys. Take care.
And the bracelet winner says goodbye. So 123 remain. $1.5 million is just average right now. Back to the featured table. Jonathan Jaffe in early position, queen 7 of hearts.
We've seen Jaffe raise with aces. We've seen him raise with 7 deuce. Here's a hand he has it sort of in the middle.
A raise to 52,000. Mikhail Brimmelhouse with pocket aces.
Amsterdam pro.
He calls.
He slow plays his aces.
Yeah.
What part of Amsterdam is he from?
Well, whatever part it is, he knows how to collect chips. He sits here with almost 2.4 million. J.C. Tran with a weak ace on the button.
He knows better than the play of the weak ace.
Indeed. Folded now around to the big blind, Eli Heath.
Too many stripes at this table, Lon. I'm dizzy.
UK pro plays cricket on a club team back home.
Might be thinking squeeze here. Brimmelhouse would love that.
But that is just a call. It's going set mining for cheap against 2 others. It's Brimmelhouse with the aces, has the hammer pre-flop here. Pocket pair for Heath, queen 7 of hearts for Jaffe, 3 players. Here's the flop, king 4-10, all hearts. Jaffe hits the second nut flush.
That's got to be one of the top 10 flops for that hand.
Brimmelhouse holds the ace of hearts, can steal it back. Heath checks his deuces. He has the deuce of hearts.
89.
89,000 from Jaffe.
Pocket aces and the nut flush draw for Brimmelhouse. He might want to make it more than 89,000. These are the 2 big stacks at the table.
Doesn't look like it, just a call.
What part of Amsterdam is he from?
Heath gives up his hand, so heads up, the 2 big dogs at this table. 2 huge hands. Turn card. Tray of clubs. Jaffe's flush is still good.
Jaffe splits his time between Montreal, where he plays online, and Orlando. And if Montreal had Disney World, he'd never have to go back to Orlando.
How much is the fare going to be here? 200,000.
Go.
Now Brimmelhouse just says call.
He continues to step gingerly with his pocket aces and nut flush draw. I don't even think he's from Amsterdam.
All right, here we go to the river. Almost 800,000 chips in the middle. 9 of diamonds, so no more hearts come out, and Jaffe has the best hand.
And Jaffe is bet sizing now. You learn that on your 4th day of Dolphin Training School.
830.
Jaffe says 830,000.
I got a call.
Brimmelhouse says, I got a call, and you got to ship it. Jaffe is rolling another big pot. Oh, he can do no wrong.
Flop flush, cracks the pocket aces. I guess it could have been worse, but Brimmelhouse just lost half his stack there.
Which gives Jaffe over $3.8 million.
Pretty sick of his shoves.
I don't make good folds, so I call.
Yeah. Still would be pretty sick.
I just always
since
assume
he
they
had
have the ace of hearts. I'm like,
yeah.
blocker.
Yeah.
Blocker. Everyone's blocker crazy. It's like my least favorite discussion or word.
That's it.
You made a good non-shove if you ever thought about bluffing it.
Yeah. My friend told me something about you, so I couldn't fold.
That I'm a moron and will not make a call. Yeah. I mean, will not make a fold.
So that pot puts Jonathan Jaffe in the thick of the main event leaderboard in 4th place. Chris Lind in the lead. Anton Morgenstern in 3rd.
A bunch of 20-something Americans on the leaderboard with 26-year-old Dolphin trainer in training and poker ambassador in training, Jonathan Jaffe, running good. Running very good.
A deep run in the main event is not a poker player's right.
Lady.
Have a set.
If you do the math, reaching the final 100 is about a 1 in 63 proposition. The best players can overcome these odds, and sometimes an amateur can too. How else to explain Beverly Lang?
You ready?
What do you think I have?
King's full.
Oh! Or Phil Mader.
The main event is the one everybody wants to play, so I go out of my way. I farm, so it's a really poor time for me to get away, but luckily I have a great family.
But if the chips usually end up in the pros stacks, then someone like Carlos Mortensen, J.C. Tran, or Jonathan Jaffe will make a run far beyond the final 100. We will watch and find out.
Main event, day 5.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for day 5 of the World Series of Poker main event. Texas amateur Beverly Lang can hardly contain her excitement.
It's crazy. If you can, the edge of my smile is like back here by my ears. And you can't go to sleep at night. You're so elated. It's so fun. And I've got my friends railing me at home. And I'm texting them Steiner Ranch and Victoria, and it's just too fun.
Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott as 58-year-old Steve G looks to make a repeat appearance at the final table. Carlos Mortensen making some noise in 2013.
My name is Carlito Mortensen. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Dolphin trainer in training Jonathan Jaffe is on a major rush near the top of the leaderboard.
Dolphin trainer? That's got to be some type of money laundering scam.
Norwegian pro Annette Oberstad with an above-average stack.
If they ever remake Bonnie and Clyde, she's got to be first in line to play Bonnie.
Chris Lind is leading the way here in the middle of day 5. Jaffe in 3rd. Canadian attorney Jason Mann in 6th.
The top 3 names on that board, Lind, Rustum, and Jaffe, all are good at throwing people off their game. They're a little unpredictable, and it works.
A lot of notables in the field. Former online superstar David Benefield has over $2.4 million. Ukrainian-born Yevgeny Timoshenko right behind him.
That's about the case for pretty much all my best plays are on par with what an idiot would do.
Yeah, I know. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I can't even brag about them to anyone, because they're like, yeah, well.
They'd be like, what?
There was a guy at my table who pulled the same thing. He couldn't read the board, so.
Those are the best hands to win.
Yeah.
Annette and Jonathan having a moment in between hands. They've been at it all day. Jaffe's been getting the best of it so far.
He is creative, sociable, and talented. Not my kind of guy, Lon.
And he's got a lot of chips. Annette so far really impressing here on day 5.
She has matured with a different attitude about life, and that's reflected in her play. She's easier to root for now.
Blinds right now at 12 and 24,000. The ante is 4,000. Jaffe under the gun. 8-7 of hearts.
Jaffe used to box. How does a guy with a nice mug like that box? He should be playing ping pong.
He must be a good boxer. A raise to 52,000.
I should box, and I would box if the duct tape would hold my glasses together better.
Best way to solve that, just get him out of here.
J.C. Tran in seed 1, one of the game's best. He folds to Oliver Price, a British pro.
I feel like I'm in the Brazilian rainforest with this guy at the table.
He folds to Eli Heath in the small blind, also from Great Britain. He gives it up in the big blind, Sergio Castelluccio. If I had the guts to change my name, it would be Sergio Castelluccio.
1.6. Easier to spell than Lon McCarron.
It is indeed. He called, heads up, Jaffe and Castelluccio. 6, ace, 7, 2 hearts. Castelluccio with a gut shot. Jaffe has middle pair and a flush draw. Castelluccio checks. Jaffe loves to reach for chips. 55,000.
Dolphin training is the same as poker. Give the player a little bait, then teach him a lesson.
Castelluccio on the draw. We'll come along for another street at least. Turn card down. Another 7 trips for Jaffe. Castelluccio drawing dead.
Drawing dead and reaching for chips.
That is Jaffe's day so far. 90,000 from Sergio.
And Jaffe's thinking, you're representing my hand. I have my hand. What the heck?
What do you have?
Well, you know, it's so hard to know what Jaffe has because he raises with any hand at any point.
And he's raising here. 210,000.
And here, Sergio easily might think Jonathan is bluffing. I mean, could Jonathan really have a 7 if he raised under the gun?
And my namesake folds. And Jonathan Jaffe continues to do things at this featured table to earn him chips as he pulls in more ammunition at this very tough table.
Creative, sociable, talented. He actually should be a first-round pick when we start Chad Poker.
Pick up any poker book or get advice from a pro and they'll tell you play tight aggressive or ABC poker is the way to go. But Norman, what should viewers think when they see a player like Jonathan Jaffe enjoying so much success? We all want the key to the main event. Does Jaffe have it?
Okay, I'm about to go deep on you. Not existential, but deep. In life, if you're the same as everyone else, you are a loser. You don't want to be like every other ant on the anthill. ABC poker gets you only so far. There are 23 other letters in the alphabet. Do I need to spell them all out for you? To stand out on the felt, sometimes you need to play XYZ or PQR poker. Unpredictable sells, and right now, Jonathan Jaffe is unpredictable with a capital K.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
At an outer table, that is French poker pro Sylvain Loosely with ace-queen. He just called the all-in of Brad Myers of Vermont. He's dominated with ace-10.
Myers is roommates here in Las Vegas with current chip leader Chris Lynn. Loosely rooms with Elke Gros-Pellier in London.
The old put on your backpack before the flop comes out. Ace, trade jack.
All right, a 3 and a king, I'll take.
3 on a 3.
3-3. 3 is good.
Turn card is a 10. Myers catches that card. He's got the lead.
So now Loosely needs a king, queen, or jack to bust Myers.
Broadway draw for Loosely. The jack counterfeits Myers' 2 pair, and Loosely's queen kicker will take the pot. Tough way to go out for Myers. 117th place.
He's cashing out first, so Myers should take care of the rent this month, not Chris Lynn.
His 4th World Series cash is his biggest. Loosely moves past the 2 million chip marker and scores the knockout.
The French business school grad turned poker pro's got chips.
At the secondary table, Carlos Mortensen pondering pocket aces after Max Coleman open raised with pocket queens, and Vladimir Geshkinbein. Now, if I'm going to change my name, it's going to be Vladimir Geshkinbein now. He called
You're
with
going
ace
in the
9.
wrong direction, Mr. McEachern.
Mortensen with a re-raise to 115,000.
Mortensen's so good at no limit, giving him aces just doesn't seem fair.
Carlos doubled up on the very first hand of this day 5. He started this hand with 716,000 chips. He's had to work hard to stick around. Everyone else folds. Back to Max Coleman with the queens, the 23-year-old from Wichita now.
They're like 600 behind?
He doesn't have to answer that. He's Carlos Mortensen. The one-time chip leader easily has Carlos covered.
And he 4-bets to 250,000. My namesake folds. Carlos shouldn't take long to act here.
All in.
Raising all in.
He's the matador. When Carlos goes all in, he should have a red cape that sweeps across the felt.
And a reluctant call from Coleman, and Carlos Mortensen with a golden opportunity to get a much-needed double-up.
Well, for Coleman, once he 4-bet line, he committed himself to the hand, now looking to get lucky to get rid of Carlos Mortensen.
All right, here's the flop. Mortensen at risk, but with aces. 10, jack, 7. Mortensen still best.
The 2001 main event champ likes the look of that flop.
Double X Max Coleman does not. Turn card now. King of diamonds, that gives both straight draws. Coleman is open-ended.
Well, the queen no longer any good for Coleman. It would give Carlos Broadway, but an ace or a 9 would give Coleman a straight and a knockout.
And the river card is a jack. A big hand versus big hand confrontation, and Carlos Mortensen doubles up again.
And a big blow to Max Coleman.
Max Coleman now sits with just 431,000 chips. The 2001 main event champ Carlos Mortensen with $1.5 million, as the Matador keeps himself relevant with a timely pickup of aces.
I think a lot of people think of me as a loose player. I project a pretty aggressive image, and I like to have a good time at the table, kind of be outgoing and chatty, so sometimes people mistake that for aggressively absurd. Yeah, it's not the size. I'm always much more proud of my day one play than anything. I think that's where, poker gets played.
Here at this featured table, poker pro from Croatia, Goran Mandic, open raised with ace king of diamonds to 50,000. Jonathan Jaffe on the button with pocket 9s.
Relative to the blind, stacks are deeper on day one, so that's why Jaffe thinks more poker gets played.
Jaffe sitting with over 4 million chips.
112.
Raised to 112,000.
Re-raises to 112,000.
Historically, pocket 9s really don't get their due, Lon. They're pretty much treated like pocket 8s, and they don't have the popular appeal of pocket 10s or jacks.
Mandic now with the ace king of diamonds. And he has seen how Jaffe has been running at this featured table, so he knows he better step carefully. But there's a 4-bet to 252.
And pocket 9s don't like getting 4-bet.
Well, let's see how Jaffe handles the pocket 9s. That's a call for 140,000 more.
Jaffe here thinks stacks are deep enough to take a flop.
So approaching 600,000 in the pot, pre-flop, Mandic and Jaffe. Trey, jack, deuce, no diamonds, no ace, no king.
That's the thing about ace-king, Lon. It's just an ace and a king, and when you don't pair either on the flop, it's still just an ace and a king.
Mandic, a 3-to-1 dog now with ace-king, but he's going to bet at 200,000.
Even in Croatia, they have been continuation betting with ace-king since the 7th century.
Now Jaffe with the pocket 9s, the leading pocket 9s. That's a call.
Jaffe thinks his 9s are probably good, but he's not certain.
Turn card. Another Trey.
Mandic won those sunglasses playing open-faced Chinese poker against a 4-year-old.
Imagine that's the only way he would put him on his face. Mandic checks now.
Well, he slows down, and that's good news for Jonathan Jaffe.
And Jaffe likewise.
That was an index finger check, very East Coast.
River card now, 7 of hearts, a 3rd heart on board. Another check from Mandic.
A continuation check from Mandic.
I'm gonna be a huge.
And Jaffe checks as well. And ace-king ends up just as ace-king, and the pocket 9s will take that pot. And a familiar sight here at the main event, Jonathan Jaffe winning a pot.
I keep forgetting about that. I've dropped 25 F-bomb.
This is a family program, sir.
No, I just remembered. Well, I successfully kept that off TV, right? It's the good news.
Oh, wow. That's like way stuck back there.
I'll keep it. I'll make sure to drop profanity anytime I think I play a hand bad.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't work for Sean Chacon.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Man, he just sideswipes Sheiky. That's not right.
115 still in the running for the World Championship title. Look around the room. Norwegian Augie Spets back on a short stack. No surprise. He needs a double up.
Then he shall double up, so say I.
Orlando pro Nick Schwarman has had a wild day 5, very big swings.
The guy loves to snowboard. He's used to wild days.
And there's Yevgeny Timoshenko, who's feeling right at home at this stage of the main event.
I think this structure is fantastic. There's no other tournament in the world like this where there's so much play. And I think that really favors the good players. There's a lot of post-flop play, which you don't often see so late in a tournament. And I think that's great. I think it's going to make for great TV, and it really challenges the really good players still left to play above the rim.
Timoshenko with almost a slam dunk at the outer table, holding a queen high flush, but Hai Chu does have a king high flush draw after the turn.
Well, Chu is playing above the rim at the moment, but he forgot to bring a ball.
He will use chips instead. And that's a bet of 300,000.
By the way, I used to look like Yevgeny, but had some plastic reconstructive surgery to give me a more unique look.
Good idea. It's worked well for you.
Good for you.
Timoshenko now with the made flush.
And as usual, Timoshenko carefully considering his options.
Yevgeny started the hand with almost 2.5 million. Chu with just over $1 million. That's a call.
He took that long not to raise. I would have raised.
All right, over 1.2 in the middle. River card pairs the board, another tray.
And let's see if Chu tries for the reverse slam dunk without the ball.
That's a check. Timoshenko with a queen high flush, checks back.
Chips coming Timoshenko's way again, but man, another check?
Yevgeny takes that pot of over 1.2 million with the flush. 130 big blinds, and Timoshenko has every reason to love the main event. He's made 3 other final tables at the World Series and in great position for a run at the November 9. The main event brings the poker world together every summer. Over 6,000 entrants again this year. Over $8.3 million to our champion. Let's get back to a very tough featured table with Annette Oberstadt, J.C. Tran, Jonathan Jaffe, Rep Porter. Folded to Tran right now, as usual, sporting the Sacramento Kings garb. Happy they decided not to leave his hometown. Pocket eights.
JC won bracelets in 2008 and 9.
A raise to 52,000. Oliver Price with Ace King.
In his first main event, a big Phil Galfond fan. Hey, who isn't?
This is his first $10,000 buy-in, and the risk is paying off for him. Oliver Price with a re-raise to 121,000. You have to make a statement, a big statement at this featured table to make your mark. Jaffe will not play. Folded around to the big blind. Rep Porter, 2-time bracelet winner with Ace Queen.
Ace Queen's a loser. Doyle Brunson doesn't like it. Case closed.
Getting short on ammo. He's all in for his last 430,000. Tran with the eights now.
Well, pocket nines I might play here. Pocket eights, no way. It's been 4-bet all in.
Yeah. Price re-raised Tran. Tran reluctantly folds the eights. And Oliver, I guess, is priced in.
Not good for me.
And so it'll be Rep Porter in line to be knocked out, holding the lesser ace.
Porter, 42-year-old poker pro from Woodinville, Washington. He went all in with 17 big blinds left.
All right, here's the flop. 5-10-4. Porter comes up empty. Price can't celebrate just yet.
That's a pretty boring flop line. Can we see another?
Just a turn card ahead. Turn card is a queen. Porter pairs up. And he turns the tables on Oliver Price.
That queen, I think, shot some adrenaline into Rep Porter's veins.
Price added a Broadway draw, but misses on the river, and Rep Porter manages to hang on and double up and then some.
They got you back a little bit.
Another all-in, another emotionless transaction at this main event. Where's Havad Khan when you need him?
Oliver Price now with just under 1 million chips. Rep Porter's double up has him just under 1 million chips, both below the chip average.
Lon, what would you do with Ace Queen if you had it?
I don't know, but we ask a lot of players what they would do.
Yeah.
Bad hand.
Trouble. Overrated. Online, I'm never folding it, but live, I'm folding it a lot.
I have to think of Mike Sexton on TV saying never go broke with a queen in your hand.
When I think of ace queen, I think of 3-betting probably.
Flush. Ship it. It sucked for me in this tournament.
Whenever you're playing with these kids, that hand's a monster to me, so I got it. If I need to. It's in.
Rep Porter doesn't watch the WPT, so he's never heard Mike Sexton talking about a queen. In fact, he's never heard of Mike Sexton.
Thomas Beckstead his double-setted headwear at an outer table shoved with Ace King and 14 big blinds, giving the Vancouver attorney Jason Mann and his pocket fives reason to deliberate a bit.
It's a proven fact. Decisions are harder and take longer when your opponent is wearing 2 hats.
I'm gonna give you life, maybe.
Mann makes the call. Not confidently.
Good luck, Josh. I run pretty good in flips.
Me too.
I got a Canadian $5 bill. I got the lucky Canadians on my side.
There's a flop and there's a 5. Good call, Jason.
Oh, that bill's done.
Beckstedt can get ready to call the cab. Turn card, another 5 quads for man. And I thought the Canadians were nice people.
Yeah, they're nice people. But these lawyers, Lon, they always have a hand in your pocket.
Seat open there at that table after Beckstedt, the 27-year-old poker pro and golf instructor, is run off in 113th place. And Jason Mann gets that much stronger. Beckstedt, his main event is over.
I run pretty good in flips.
Not this time. Quads send Beckstedt out the door, double hat and all. Back at the Rio, Carrascotta's with someone who knows what it takes to win the big one.
Phil Hellmuth is the man with more bracelets than anyone else in the world. It says so on his hat. He has 13. And you've gone deep in this tournament. You've gone deep in so many events. What advice would you give to the players who are left now?
I mean, it's so much about patience, you know, and I knew that, and it's set up that way. I mean, you have so much time to work your chips. There's so much skill, and that's why we're seeing a lot of great players get there.
And great players like former champion Carlos Mortensen. Talk to me about him.
I mean, I went and told Carlos Mortensen that he's the best no-limit hold'em player ever. I mean, this guy it's unbelievable. He's the all-time leading money winner on the World Poker Tour, and what he's done in no limit, and that's all no limit. What he's done in no limit is just sick.
And that is the word on the tournament from Phil Hellmuth, 13 bracelets.
Annette Oberstad, the 07 World Series Europe main event champ, and in 2012, Phil Hellmuth added the main event title in Europe to his 1989 main event title here.
Annette, the youngest ever to win a bracelet. The asterisk, she won it in London, where 18-year-olds can gamble. With 10-8 of clubs, Annette raised to $50,000. Mikhail Brimmelhaus on the button with 7-6 is thinking about something. That's a re-raise to $125,000.
Mikhail's good friend from Amsterdam, Jorn Volthaus, still alive in this main event.
Both blinds fold back to Annette.
Well, Brimmelhaus got feisty with 7-6 on the button. He thinks Annette raised light, so he 3-bets her. Pretty good play, unless she repops it.
Oh, Annette thinking about it.
Well, she was happy Jonathan Jaffe was out of the hand. Now she's got to worry about another active account to her left.
Annette calls, can't back down from a silly 3-bet by a Dutchman on the button. This could be fun. Who will blink first? Here's the flop. 5-10-4. Oberstadt hits top pair. Brimmelhaus picked up an open-ender. Annette checks.
Annette's been texting her mother on breaks and says her mom is more excited than she is about her deep run. Brimmelhaus's mother will not accept texts from him when he's wearing that shirt.
Brimmelhaus bets $95,000.
Brimmelhaus with the semi-bluff. No ABC poker from him. First he raised pre-flop with 7-6. Now hoping to get Oberstad off of her hand here, or if need be, hit his straight.
Annette with top pair. Just a call. And so considering where these two started, this pot is getting rather big, over $500,000. Turn card is a tray. Brimmelhaus turns the straight. Oh my goodness. Annette checks again.
And if Brimmelhaus has to show down this hand line, it's great for his image. Unpredictable can be profitable.
McKeel checks as well.
Well, that was a sneaky check.
River card is an 8. If you're Annette, you love that card. 2 pair now, but Norman, what only the viewers at home know, Brimmelhaus already has the straight.
I love when you whisper sweet nothings into my ear. But indeed, what a great river card for the Dutch pro. Annette makes top 2 pair, and he already had the nuts. He's going to get a bet out of her, and he might even get her to call a raise.
Annette with $280,000. Now Brimmelhaus, the Dutch poker pro. Yep, you got the straight. He can't believe it either.
All in.
He raises all in.
Boy, what can he have? Annette's thinking. I do not envy Annette Oberstad in this spot.
She does look interested. Phil Hellmuth looking on intently.
Can you put that out and count what's left?
Annette's thinking about this call, of course.
So 400 more?
I mean, remember, he 3-bet pre-flop. Look at that board.
There's the call.
Straight.
Brimmelhaus turns over the unlikely straight.
Yeah, Annette was shaking her head as she made the call.
It's pretty ugly.
And these two essentially will swap chip stacks.
Wow.
I would have thought you beat about 70% of the value range.
You would think so, right? Yeah, I just had a bad feeling.
Brimmelhouse is officially off my home game list. We don't like tricky players.
Well, Brimmelhouse gets the full double up. How did he do it? Here are Antonio Esfandiari and Phil Locke.
McKeel shows us what can happen when you mix it up, and he really does mix it up here. He's definitely collecting some future implied value from this hand.
What Phil means by future implied value is that in no limit hold'em, what you want to do is always throw your opponents off and not play the standard ABC. You really want to mix it up. And by playing this hand this way, by 3-betting with 7-6, and then checking the nuts on the turn, that's exactly what he does. It makes your opponents know that you're capable of playing any 2 cards in any which way. And so, therefore, it's really hard to figure out what you have. So, fantastic job for mixing it up.
Yeah, Phil and Antonio confirm it for me. No home games for McKeel Brimmelhouse.
Blair's about to go on a break, and Phil Hellmuth paying his respects to Annette.
Can I get some love?
Doing my best.
You just won.
You don't get any.
Thank you, sir.
You have too many chips.
Back to the dwindling number of outer tables. New Yorker Jason Cohen hoping to keep the candles lit on his birthday gift. All in with King Jack against Steve G's Pocket Queens.
Lots of spades, lots of hearts.
This hand a rematch of the 1981 ALCS. Boy, Steve G is sweating this hand like he's the one at risk with King Jack.
But it is indeed Jason Cohen. Here's the flop. 6-4-6. G uneasy, but still ahead.
Yeah, this isn't the Yankees year line.
Pretty ugly flop for Cohen. Turn card is a 10 only, brings Jason Cohen closer to his demise.
Cohen's got to have a king.
The river card is an ace. Steve G will take the pot, and Jason Cohen's main event story has written its final chapter.
Cohen's $10,000 birthday present from his wife turned into a fabulous $50,000 poker journey. Well done, Jason Cohen.
He better stop off at Mamari Jewelers on the way home and give his wife a little gift. $50,752 for Jason Cohen. Well done. Steve G continues to steal headlines here on day 5.
Right here, he's going to buy him.
His path to a repeat final table just became a little more clear.
I hate going out like that. There's only one overcard. So
Yeah.
God, I mean, I got one overcard. I don't know.
I went in my bag and all I had was. They won't take chip to you? You're going to finish that guy off, man. Well, I knew you were going to finish the job.
I know you're going to.
Steve G with 2.5 million chips and cruising. P.S. Hines and Greg Merson, the last 2 main event champions. Steve G hoping to be the next.
I don't want to get overconfident because I really want to come back tomorrow. Like every poker player says, this would be the most painful exit of any tournament. I just want to come back and play tomorrow and have a chance to play.
For many here, they're just hoping to make it through the next round, one hand at a time. The blinds up to 15 and 30,000, a 5K ante, and they're making their stacks out of 3 types of chips: the 5K, 25K, and lavender 100K chip. Jonathan Jaffe
65.
with Pocket Queens for today's chosen one. A raise to 65,000, 2 5s for Annette.
She now has well under an average stack. And Brimmelhouse with the above average stack now, raring to go.
Pocket pair into the muck, and a smaller pocket pair for McKeel, 4s. And he's going to call. Rep Porter gives up his 5 tray. The small blind Mandich, ace king again.
Yeah, he was studying architecture at the University of Split in Croatia and dropped out to play ace king.
And he's seen plenty of action in front of him. Now in the small blind with ace king, a re-raise to 215,000. J.C. Tran in the big blind with a weak ace suited. He folds. Jaffe now with the big stack and the pocket queens.
600 behind, Goran?
Probably.
Jaffe's a big man on campus at this table. Mandich with about 20 big blinds left.
Total of 375.
A 4-bet from Jaffe. Brimmelhouse runs.
All in.
Call.
Mandich all in and a quick call.
Wow. Bang, bang by the book.
Good luck, sir.
Goran did not have any luck last time with ace king.
Jaffe's favorite TV show is The Wire. Mandich's favorite is How I Met Your Mother. I've got to give Jaffe the edge in that race.
10 deuce 7. Pocket queen still good for Jaffe.
Not much there for Mandich. Ace or king is his best bet.
Yep, with the 2 overs, almost a 3-to-1 dog. Turn card now.
I heard it was a queen. What are you talking about?
8 of spades. Jaffe's still ahead, but Mandich now with the better of the 2 flush draws.
Yeah, you can ring up a new set of outs for Mandich. Now an ace, king, or any spade, and the 27-year-old Croatian will stick around.
The river card is a spade. Mandich with the better flush, surviving is all in.
Mandich had 1 foot out the door. Instead, he's got 1 average stack now.
Mandich will stack over 1.8 million chips with that double up, while Jaffe proves he's human, losing almost 20% of his stack. All right, let's go to an outer table now. Josh Prager on the left turned trip trays and bet 200,000 on the right. James Alexander has 2 pair, 10s and trays, and he calls. The river card. The ace of spades. Prager rivers trays full, which gives Alexander aces up.
Prager finished 96th at the 05 main event. Alexander's brother Dwayne was 109th at the 2011 main event, so he's already surpassed him.
Prager bets 350,000. Now the 34-year-old Texan Alexander with aces up makes the call, and will have to pay off Josh Prager.
That's just too sick.
It is real sick.
That's sick.
But it was good timing for my husband, you know?
That's just sick.
And it's like a self-destruct moment.
But the timing couldn't be better.
The last time I have such a good hand.
Flush draw?
Not that good, but
Good
I can't
hand.
fold on the turn.
Good hand, sir. Next.
And then the queen's just too dumb to bet. And in case he has ace queen or whatever. No.
That's dirty.
Okay. The camera's coming over too, like self-destruct moment on table 435 or whatever. It's like, we're here to see it.
Prager now sits with almost 2 million chips. Alexander down to about 2.5 million. Back to the feature table where every seat is a hot seat. Jonathan Jaffe, the man of the hour. Mikhail Brummelhouse under the gun with ace-queen.
And Brummelhouse will take ace-queen out for a stroll.
Now raised to 65,000.
You should bring a raincoat with ace-queen.
The payout's getting up there. The money bump's getting more lucrative as well. That encourages some players to hang tight and stick around, but the top pros are gunning for the big money. 8.3 million to our champion this year. Eli Heath folds on the button. Sergio Castelluccio with King Jack.
He finished 4th in the 2012 EPT Monte Carlo main event. That was worth more than $500,000. But I want to know what he has strapped to his left shoulder.
The Italian pro with the call.
I think he has a really large no-limit hold'em apt that he carries around.
Saw Jaffe fold. Annette folds her big blind. So heads up. Brummelhouse taking on Castelluccio. Ace-queen against King Jack. Brummelhouse has Castelluccio covered by almost 400,000 chips as they started the hand. Here's the flop. Jack, Trey, Ace. Brummelhouse with top pair, middle pair for Castelluccio.
A little something for everybody. Well, we only have 2 players, but I like saying a little something for everybody.
Well, there's a check from Mikhail.
Let's say he carries around a poker manual, but it's just embarrassing to pull it out mid-hand for instruction.
Super Systems is a very thick book, and then there's a follow-up to that. Another tray on the turn. Ace is up for Brummelhouse. Jack's up for Castelluccio. And now Mikhail decides to bet 90,000.
I remember Mikhail with the slow play earlier against the net when he had the straight. He slow plays here again on the flop.
He gets Castelluccio to call.
Good bet, bad call.
400,000 in the pot. Castelluccio needs help. The river 6 does not bring it. Brummelhouse with the best hand. The Dutch pro thinking that half the pot is the good bet here.
And here's the other thing to remember about Brummelhouse. When they see you raise with 7-6 off, they know you could be betting here with absolutely nothing, so your strong hands get paid off often.
Sergio with a lesser 2-pair calls.
Ace-queen.
Now, when you sigh when you call, you're probably beat. Sergio sensed it.
Mikhail Brummelhouse finds a way to collect chips. As you mentioned, Norman, whether it's 7-6 off or ace-queen, the chips are just flowing his way today.
Well played again. Checked the flop, got value on later streets. He's now crossed off my home game list twice.
Castelluccio takes a hit. When things aren't going well, it seems like you make a lot of second-best hands. The main event is unrelenting as we close in on 100 players remaining.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Tonight's bracelet moments are presented by PokerNews.com. He's making a deep run in the main event, but Nick Schwarman came up just short in an earlier World Series event, finishing second to Justin Oliver in the $2,500 four-handed no-limit Hold'em tournament. Music blogger Sandeep Pulasani rocked the $3,000 no-limit Hold'em event for nearly $600,000 and the bracelet. And two men won over $700,000 in no-limit events, German Nicholas Teichert and British pro Matt Perrins. Teichert took his bracelet down in the $2,500 buy-in, and Perrins won the $5,000 buy-in event. Plenty of players still in the main event had deep runs or big scores earlier in the series. Josh Pollock won a bracelet in the $1,500 pot limit Omaha event. Rep Porter was fourth in the $1,500 horse event.
Jonathan, pick a shuffleboard target for me and I'll practice.
What's that?
Pick me a target, I'll practice.
All right.
How about the white line at the end of the box?
Yeah, okay.
The box.
Yeah, that's the right move.
I lay you 3-1 if you can get one card in the box without touching the line.
Oh my God. That's
Without
absurd.
touching
No
a
chance.
line?
Dude,
He needs
said,
like 10-1.
He
That's
said,
so tough.
come on, man, let me hustle,
Sorry.
not you. Is it my hustle or yours? I'm not betting
I'm sorry. You're right.
All right, 3.5 to 1. Last call.
You give me 5-1, but we got to bet big.
What's big?
Oh, I don't know.
He was setting this up a long time ago with that first thing.
The smooth hustle takes some practice.
How is poker shuffleboard not an Olympic event?
Yeah, the money's big, but the days are long, and everyone can use a diversion once in a while. Hold it to Rep Porter. He doubled up recently, figures to be around for a while. Why not playing card shuffleboard?
Ooh. He's getting practice shots in.
That's it. He can do it. Hey, it's true odds are about 3.5 to 1.
Boy, if poker shuffleboard were a bracelet event, Rep Porter might have 15 of them. He already has 2 bracelets in established events.
Mandich will keep his cards and raises to $60,000 with King Queen. J.C. Tran now will have to keep his as well. Ace Jack of Hearts and a call. Oliver Price.
Come on in. Come on in.
No, he's not in either game.
What is this, no limit Texas Fold'em? Play ball, son. 9-8 suited.
Sergio Castelluccio folds his small, Jaffe his big. Heads up, JC and Mandich. The flop, Jack, Queen, 7, 2 hearts, top pair for Mandich. Middle pair and a flush draw for JC Tran. Mandich checks.
Tran, usually with no shades, he put on the sunglasses here on day 5 because he thought he might be giving something away.
So Tran bets 85,000.
And this is a coin flip flop for these two.
And there's a call from Mandich. Indeed. Here's a turn card. Ace of diamonds. Tran surges down the stretch with aces up. Mandich checked his 11% hand.
Tran's one of those players you feel confident is always making the right decision, but he isn't obnoxious about it, just a go about his business classy pro.
Mandich now sees JC bet 220,000 into him.
Mandich doesn't like it, then he shouldn't like it.
But the Croatian pro not going anywhere, seems undeterred, decides to call. River card 6 of spades brings no relief to Mandich. He checks a third time.
I prefer JC without the shades, but with or without him, he's a terrific player.
Great family man as well. Strong supporter of his Sacramento Kings, as we've mentioned. 390,000 from Tran.
Tran confident he's best here. Mandich left with second pair and a sinking feeling it's not good enough.
Mandich has check called twice. Not looking good for a third time, and he misses the box to boot.
Not even close. Poker, shuffleboard, donkey.
And JC Tran will build his stack to a cool $2.5 million.
JC just goes about his business. A little better than the Sacramento Kings do.
Away from the feature table where Annette was one of 4 women remaining. Now just 3 out there. Kima Kimura out in 100th place. Texas's Beverly Lang, though, is still in it.
Her husband Steve here railing her. They got married the day of a Texas-Oklahoma football game, and she had to fight with the wedding coordinator to get the game played during the reception.
Australia's Jackie Glazier below average but healthy with $1.4 million.
She was smart. When she married her husband Jamie, Texas and Oklahoma weren't playing that day.
So just 3 women left. Let's check in right now with Kara Scott.
When Greg Merson was eliminated earlier on day 5, that left just one former main event champion in the field with a chance to take home his 2nd World Series of Poker main event bracelet. Carlos Mortensen bested a field of 613 runners in 2001 to take the title. Now, 12 years later, the field size here is 10 times as big. He's already outlasted more than 6,000 runners, and with every level, we get closer to the final table. He's had an incredible career as well. He's made over $10 million in live tournament cashes. He's at the top of the all-time money list for the WPT. He has 3 WPT titles, 2 bracelets, including the main event. And right now, he's sitting at our secondary feature table.
Carlos Mortensen heating up in the latter stages of the main event. Wakes up with kings.
The year Carlos won the main event, the final table included Dewey Tomko, Phil Hellmuth, and Mike Matisow.
And with the Kings, Carlos with a min raise plus 5K, $65,000 to Rettenmaier with pocket queens.
Ugly. Ugly. What a bad time to be short stacked with pocket queens.
20 big blinds from Marvin and a handful of bad luck. And that is all in. So now Alexander Livingston folds 7 deuce. Sinovio Ramirez with pocket 8s, business owner in Texas.
35-year-old from Mercedes. This is his 3rd main event cash.
Giving serious thought to taking on these 2 top pros.
It's just pocket 8s. Pocket 9s, of course, I'm going to play. But pocket 8s, got to get rid of them.
Got a world champ, and then a guy who's won $4 million in live poker earnings in front of him. Ramirez finds those 8s very sticky, decides to fold.
He didn't want to fold them, but it was the right decision.
He had to say it before his hand would actually get rid of the cards. No one else wants to play with these 2 heavyweights. Back to Carlos. There's the call. Marvin Rettenmaier at risk and way behind.
Mortensen with 3 WPT titles, Rettenmaier with 2 WPT titles.
This is Rettenmeier's first, though, main event cash of his career. That is surprising. Carlos running good, looking for the big knockout.
Want to chop?
Yeah, if the queen came, yes, absolutely.
I'm rooting for a chopped pot. 2 gentlemen, poker heavyweights.
Here's the flop. 8 in the window. Ramirez is cringing. 4 tray to go along with it. Mortensen's king's still good, though.
There will be no chopped pot. Mad Marvin needs a lot of help.
The equation is simple for him, and there's another 8. Ramirez folded the pocket 8s, remember? Oh.
And now just 2 outs for Rettenmaier. He has to have a queen.
Of spades.
The river card, the deuce of diamonds, the matador does it again. And that win also eliminates a very talented pro in Marvin Rettenmaier. 99th place, worth nearly $60,000. He is a world-traveling poker money printing machine.
The last scarf standing is gone. And you know, I think Mortensen's finally over an average stack.
You know, I know folding. You would have like stuck me there.
He started day 5 on hand 1 with a small double up and has built his stack to nearly $2 million. Carlos Mortensen's kings hold up, and it's clear that with that stack and his skill, he's a force at this main event. The 0-1 champ looking for a return to the final table. Card protectors are popular among pros and amateurs, but at this stage of the main event, under 100 players, it's nice just to have cards being dealt to you.
Frankly, your card protector should not be larger than your chip stack.
The monkey belongs to Vladimir Geschkenbein. Carlos Mortensen with ace, king of hearts. Going to get back to work with a raise to $65,000. Folded to Ramirez with 2 jacks.
Well, he wants his pocket 8s back from that last hand.
Yeah, no kidding.
Instead, here he's going to play pocket jacks, which of course have no chance.
He would have hit quads against Rettenmaier and Mortensen.
All in.
He says all in for $820,000, 27 big blinds. So Ramirez taking his stand here at the secondary featured table.
My name is Carlito Mortensen. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Actually, a call here would be for about 40% of the Matador's stack. He doesn't want to run into aces or kings for sure.
He does make the call and will try to keep his day 5 big wheel turning.
Well, Carlos looking for a second straight knockout, but he's behind to Ramirez.
Mortensen has used all his poker skills to build his stack here on day 5 and now knows he needs to risk this amount to try to get stronger. 10, deuce, jack. Ramirez comes up big with the set.
Ramirez does not react. Mortensen does. The Texas amateur in great shape now.
Carlos picked up a Broadway draw, so his 2 overs don't really matter. Turn card is a queen! Really, Carlos? Oh, he hits the straight.
No emotion from Ramirez, but now the board must pair for him to stick around.
The river card is an 8. Ramirez can't pull it off. The 8 haunts him again. Carlos Mortensen can do no wrong. A second top 100 finish for Ramirez in the main event.
Así es. Suerte.
We have seen Carlos run so good in so many all-in situations here. It doesn't seem fair when the great players get lucky.
And nearly 2.9 million chips are in the very capable hands of the Matador.
Good game, buddy. Listen to that monkey.
At this stage of the main event, the last woman standing could easily be the last player standing. Last year, Gail Bowman and Elizabeth Hill nearly made poker history, just missing the final table. In 2013, Annette Oberstadt, Jackie Glazier, and Beverly Lang looked to build on Hill's and Bowman's success.
I'm just a little girl from Texas that loves to play poker.
I'm pretty sure I'm winning no matter what you do.
Turn last woman standing on its head and capture the 2013 World Series of Poker main event title.
Main event, day 5.
Welcome back to the Rio. We're under 100 players at the 2013 World Series of Poker main event. I'm Lon McCarron on hand with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. At an outer table, Jackie Glazier and Yevgeny Timoshenko involved in a pot. Jackie, one of 3 women remaining in the main event. Timoshenko just turned a king-high flush and bet $205,000. Glazier with 2 pair and a meaningless flush draw. And she makes the call.
Maybe she thinks a club wins it for her. Maybe she's thinking of bluffing the river.
Here is the river, and the 10 comes home for Glazier. Her boat trumps Yevgeny's flush.
What a river thunderbolt for Glazier.
Gotta let him watch the hand.
Timoshenko is sizing a bet right now. He should be sizing a coffin.
Timoshenko with the king-high flush. $500,000.
She was a 10-to-1 dog going to the river, and a 10 landed in her lap.
Now Jackie Glazier says all in for just under $1 million, and Yevgeny can't believe it.
He's exasperated. This would be for about 15% of his stack. Yevgeny's getting about 5-to-1 on a call here, but I imagine Glazier is almost never bluffing in this spot.
Yevgeny, Ukrainian-born American citizen, great poker pro. That is one smart poker player.
Yeah, she got lucky, and he made a very nice laydown there.
Yevgeny gives up the chips, lost over 20% of his stack, but still sits with over 3.1 million. Nice fold. For Glazier, the Australian pro gets a nice jolt to her chip holdings. She's got nearly 2.3 million now. Around the room, one of the biggest stories is Steve G's return to the final 100.
I think he's taken some main event pill he orders from some out-of-town biogenesis clinic.
Businessman Sammy Rustin has been the chip leader for most of the day.
Businessman, yeah. His business is relieving people of their chips.
There's the chip leader, Canadian Marc-Etienne McLaughlin.
The 25-year-old is good friends with Jonathan Duhamel. That's a good start.
The leaderboard starting to look a little familiar now. Canadian Jason Mann right now in 3rd place. The Canadians have had a great World Series.
I'd still like to slip AARP-eligible Dan Owen onto the final table. If a 65-year-old can make it, the November 9 will be an early bird.
We've had a tough featured table. Dutch pro Michiel Brimmelhaus over $2 million after taking a lot from Annette Oberstadt. Dolphin trainer in training Jonathan Jaffe has been the table captain for a while, still the biggest stack here at nearly $3 million. Let's take a look at how the featured table lays out. Consummate pro JC Tran, healthy in seat number 1.
Hard to criticize JC, though he is a rare breed, a diehard Sacramento Kings fan.
Norwegian pro Annette Oberstad on the decline, now just cresting 1 million chips.
Annette has been card dead at the feature table, and with Jaffe to her right opening nearly every pot, she hasn't had many opportunities.
Current payout, nearly $60,000.
Me? I had a couple low hundreds.
I thought you were like 30th or something.
No. This is my personal best so far.
How many times played?
I played since 04. I think this is my 6th main event cash.
JC with over $8 million in live career tournament earnings. Annette Oberstad with 10-5, and she'll raise to $60,000.
Annette in early position with the don't try this at home hand.
McKeel Brimmelhouse, pocket trays.
Brimmelhouse and JC Tran have something in common, both expecting a child later this year.
Brimmelhouse with 2 World Series final tables to his credit makes the call. So Annette gets a hanger on, folded around to the button and JC Tran.
JC mentioned his 6 main event cashes. In 2004 and 5, he did something that will never be repeated. Back-to-back 117th place finishes in the main event.
What are the odds? Folded to Eli Heath in the big blind.
Eli Heath, proud member of the double first name club.
Minimal World Series earnings for this 25-year-old British pro until this nice score at the main event he calls.
I don't like any of these hands, Lon. Let's reshuffle the deck.
Here's the flop. 10-9 ace. Eli Heath misses. He checks. Annette with middle pair. She checks.
Nobody comfortable with that ace on the flop.
Brimmelhouse checks his trays. JC Tran checks his straight draw. A free turn card. Another 9. Heath with just king high. Checks. 2 pair now for Annette. And she checks again. Brimmelhouse with the smaller 2 pair.
He's going to bet. Why not? They're gift wrapping it to him.
Absolutely. 105,000. JC Tran now with the draw. And he folds. Heath with a folder now has a chance, but king high into the muck.
Annette has never liked her hand. Hey, if you're going to play the 10-5 and you hit a 10 on the flop and you're unhappy, then don't play the 10-5 to start. That's what my mother would tell me.
Maybe a sign she's off her game. She plays the hand, hits her best card, and then doesn't do anything about it. She makes the call. River card is the Jack of Diamonds. Annette's hand is best.
I'd be surprised to see her bet now, though.
Yeah, scary board. She does check. McKeel Brimmelhouse.
260.
Brimmelhouse is bluffing house.
He says 260,000.
Annette is unsure. Like the day I walked into my astronomy final in spring '81 without studying because I'd gone to the Loggins Messina concert the night before.
Annette didn't show any gumption throughout this hand. Does she want to call here? She does not.
Out of position, plus weak hand, plus short stack, equals fold the best hand on the river.
Annette not in the groove, allowed Brimmelhouse to be the aggressor, cost her that pot.
She's not feeling good about it. She knows chips are power. McKeel bluffing house has got the power.
Annette dips below 1 million chips, which might create a sense of desperation for the Norwegian pro. But here at the main event, desperation sets in much later than most events. So much play, so many opportunities, Norman, to get back in the hunt.
This stat bears repeating. If the main event has 6,300 players annually and you play it every year of your legal poker playing life, you will make the top 100 once. Once! You may never get back here again. So let me say this to Annette, who doesn't need my advice. Heck, she won the World Series Europe main event when she was 18. Don't think desperation, rather think opportunity, as in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
3 chips in play, the 5K, 25K, and a lavender 100K chip.
The guys that lose are the guys that have too much pride in how good they are, so they admit the
Those
truth.
are the guys that can look themselves in the eye there.
Yeah, they're bragging about how good they are. Well, good for you.
Yeah, you've either got cheaters or hustlers in golf. It's one or the other.
I don't bet in golf anymore.
Yeah, it's a bad proposition.
I'm probably a lifetime loser in golf bets. Not a lot though, small.
During JC's confession, Eli Heath raised with Queen Jack to 60,000. On the button, Jonathan Jaffe, Queen 9.
Queen high on the button for Jaffe.
105.
Smells like a 3-bet. He's been doing it since day one.
It is.
Stick to that. Don't go to pool, don't go to golf.
Jaffe re-raised to 105,000. Back to Heath now.
See? Now you're out of position, Mr. Heath, with Queen Jack and a striped shirt. You're probably an underdog on two fronts, card-wise and fashion-wise.
He's got the better hand, Norman.
Don't bother me with useless facts, play-by-play meister.
Heath makes the call. Jaffe sees that Heath has a much smaller chip stack than he. Heads up now. The flop, Jack, Tray, 8, top pair for Heath. Gut shot for Jaffe.
Who's got the better hand now?
Heath has the better hand still.
Oh. Whoa, Rome wasn't built in a day, and poker hands weren't made on the flop.
After a check, Jaffe bets 125,000 with his draw.
Yeah, we've got a draw. All this guy has is top pair, sunglasses, a striped shirt, and an $18 haircut.
125,000 is the call.
I'm comfortable with where Mr. Jaffe stands.
Turn card now. 4 of spades. Jaffe now a 10-1 dog.
You check, you lose, son.
He does check.
Aha. I guarantee you Jonathan Jaffe has the 9% solution. He can train dolphins. He certainly knows how to tame some 25-year-old tourist with a business degree.
260.
Maybe Heath is happy to allow Jaffe to volunteer chips into the pot. 260,000.
I like it, Lon. Hand over. Ship it.
I don't think Heath is going anywhere.
I hate a stubborn guy in a striped shirt.
Eli Heath with the call.
This fella's a calling station. Well, I hope he misses the next calling train.
All right, river card now. Is a 10. Oh, there you go, Norman. Jaffe rivers the straight.
Hello, Mr. Gutshot. Have you met Mr. Heath?
Oh, goodness. Heath checks again.
Small one.
Jaffe puts Heath all in.
Well, Jaffe gets very lucky, and he puts Heath in a very tough spot. This is for Eli Heath's main event. He's got top pair. You hate calling off your chips. It takes a lot of poker guts, and when you're wrong, you just want to heave your guts. If Heath folds here, he's left with 24 big blinds.
So tantalizing to try and call the unpredictable Jaffe down. He does call all in. And will look for the nearest exit.
Wow, what a river. Sick river.
Jonathan Jaffe got there, earning more chips, scoring the knockout of Eli Heath, who's gone in 92nd place. And Jonathan Jaffe's aggression is rewarded with a very lucky river card. There's the bracelet that goes to this year's champion. Oh, and $8.3 million too. Las Vegas pro Keanu Tabali has pocket nines and called the pre-flop all-in of Kansas businessman and high roller Brandon Stephen, who shoved with ace-king of spades.
You may recall Stephen from that memorable hand in which he folded the winner on the river to Beverly Lang.
No help to Brandon Stephen. Turn card. And Tabali turns a set. Stephen has the nut flush draw.
Stephen still can survive with a spade that doesn't pair the board.
The river card is a spade, but it does pair the board, so Tabali's full boat outguns the nut flush.
Stephen saw the spade and thought he was safe. He was 10th in 2010, just missing the November 9.
Brandon Stephen has played his last hand of the 2013 main event. Another impressive finish, as you mentioned, Norman, but not the big money payout he was shooting for. Beverly Lang comes over for some consolation. Keanu Tabali now over $3 million.
Keanu? I hope he plays better than the other Keanu acts.
Or, what is it, the internet or...
So while Brandon Stephen walks off the disappointment, let's move back to the feature table where Justin Kong Van Tran, better known as JC Tran, just whiffed on a deuce ace 10 flop. Sergio Castelluccio did catch top pair. Castelluccio's action, he checks.
Tran has nothing. Castelluccio has the weak ace. Frankly, I prefer nothing.
Tran bets 75,000.
See, with squad douche, you can bluff or get away from your hand, but with the weak ace, you never know what's going on.
Castelluccio just with a call. Turn card, Jack of Diamonds. Castelluccio still best with top pair. He checks again.
Tran has nothing. Castelluccio has the weak ace. Frankly, I prefer nothing.
The weak ace is a 91% favorite.
You're so fact-driven, you just don't see the truth.
185,000 from Tran with a gut shot.
Castelluccio's favorite hobby is to play the guitar. His second favorite hobby is to play the weak ace.
Who didn't see that coming? Castelluccio with the call. A number of reasons to bet a drawing hand. JC knows all of them. River card now is a king, and JC Tran hits Broadway. Castelluccio checks again.
Tran has the nuts. Castelluccio has the weak ace. Frankly, I prefer the nuts.
You are so results driven.
Well, right now, JC is channeling his inner Yevgeny Timoshenko and figuring out a bet size here.
350,000.
The weak ace doesn't look so strong right now. There's no ace he can beat. He loses to a set, to two pair. He loses to a queen. I don't like the weak ace.
So you don't like the weak ace?
You're a quick study.
Okay. Castelluccio does fold the weak ace. Top pair. Veteran JC Tran knows you don't catch cards like that every day, but when you do, it sure is sweet.
Well, as it turns out, a bluff might have worked there in the end, but guys like Jaffe and Tran shouldn't be allowed to run this good. It leaves everyone else defenseless.
Well, Norman, as you know, JC, one of the most well-respected pros on the tournament circuit and one of the most successful ones, too. Over $8 million in career earnings, but the most important number for him right now is 2, the number of kids he'll soon have.
JC, born in Vietnam, came to the U.S. when he was 2 years old, got his college degree from Sacramento State, but he walked into a card room at age 21 and pretty much never walked out.
Want to know more about your favorite players? Go on over to ESPN.com/poker. Chip stacks can grow very quickly here on day 5 as the blinds increase and put pressure on the shorter stacks to make a move. And at this stage, a short stack of, say, 10 big blinds is still 400,000 chips.
We're down to under 100 players. 30 years ago, 1983, they started with 108 players, and Tom McAvoy won. Doral Brunson was third that year.
The blinds are up to 20 and 40,000. And he's still 5K. On the button, Jaffe, 9-6 off.
Well, 30 years ago, Jaffe was not even on this earth, so he couldn't raise with 9-6 off.
Jaffe does raise to a net with pocket fives. What to do? Time for a little white magic, perhaps.
A net, 2 5s. Well, 90% of the world's just going to move in with 5s here because you have 20 big blinds. You're in the small blind, only one person to act behind you. You have 40,000 big blind and you have 800,000 in chips. 20 big blinds, the math says, the game theory says, move all in. But, as you know, I'm not a big believer in the game theory. Annette is too great of a player to just blindly shove with 5s. I'd like to see her call and wait for a better spot because great players find great spots. Wait.
I think she'll wait to see if her all-in is called.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Annette does shove for 810,000. Marching to her own magic, and 2 kings for Brimmelhouse. Uh-oh.
Oh, just horrific luck for Annette. Like Helmuth said, 90% of players would go all in with her pocket pair in the small blind. Brimmelhouse just happens to have a bigger pair in the big blind.
I bet Brimmelhouse would like to have some of Jaffe's chips in the middle, too.
By the way, what better spot was the brat wanting her to wait for? The button's raising with anything, and you've got a pocket pair in the small blind.
Brimmelhouse just calls back to Jaffe with 9-6. This shouldn't take long. He does fold.
Hey, one bear.
Annette's 1 pair in big trouble.
Looks like I need it. Can I use my 1 time now? Actually, I've already used my 1 time. Yeah.
Better leave.
Yeah, it's true. That was Europe. I'm going to use my 1 time in the States now.
We now have 1 times available in different continents. It's officially out of control.
Whatever you can do.
That's right. I was thinking that.
No 5 in that flop.
This is a good flop.
But she did pick up a straight draw.
7. Spade. Oh, that doesn't do anything.
Turn card. Another deuce. 1 last shot now for Annette Oberstad.
Don't be a jerk, Mikhail. Give her 1.
It's okay.
The river card is a blank, and Annette Oberstad will walk off the biggest stage in poker with another fine showing, knocked out by Mikhail Brimmelhouse. Mikhail's stack grows to over 3.3 million. Annette Obrestad, knocked out of the main event in 89th place, will take home over $71,000. All but one deep run must come to an end. Annette out late on day 5. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event. Late here on day 5 at the Rio, just 88 players left. We caught up with Annette Obrestad, who just busted in 89th.
I feel like I played well this whole tournament. I mean, today I had chips at one point. Obviously, like, it goes through your head. You're like, I might have like a 5% chance of making a final table now. And it's kind of like cool, you know? But then you kind of start thinking that, you know what, like, it's 5%. It's so small.
There's Vancouver attorney Jason Mann. His trip 9's a big favorite after the turn against Steve G, holding the stronger flush draw.
Steve G always has a 5% chance of making the main event final table.
Over 7 million chips between the two. Mann with 4.5, G with more than 2.5.
Jason Mann, criminal defense attorney, once worked as a sushi server. Frankly, I just can't see that.
He bets 110,000. Now Steve G.
Mann had checked the flop, and that has allowed G to pick up the spade draw on the turn.
That's more than 110,000. Steve G with a raise to 320.
I've come to believe Steve G is Nick Walenda's half-brother nobody knows about because he's usually on a high wire himself.
He loves to put this kind of pressure on his opponents, but it also puts pressure on himself.
Well, right here at a minimum, he has got Mann back on his heels.
Exactly what he wanted. Mann with a call of 210 more. One card to come now. Over 900,000 chips in the middle, the river card. 4 of hearts, no flush comes. Trips are good for Mann. He checks.
Mann ceded control of the pot when he simply called G's raise on the turn.
But G missed his hand.
Yeah, but I don't think G likes his chances of winning a showdown if he just checks here.
Yeah, we know there's only one way he can win this pot. It's to push Mann away. And that looks like what Steve G wants to do. 700,000.
Boy, that is one big river bet.
He's got Mann squirming.
3s. Like you want to bet the flop. Have a 9, I'd probably have you beat. Oh, that's such a big bet. It's like you know what I have.
You know how they say don't kid a kidder? I say don't try to out-litigate a lawyer.
Maybe a 10-9, maybe Jack 9, 9-8.
Steve G's built a case here for a huge hand. Will the attorney believe it?
I call.
Call. Turn the cards up.
Jason makes the call. Steve G comes up empty in a big way.
King high.
And the table sees the big flop for Mann. And a nice pot goes to the Vancouver attorney. Steve G takes a hit down to about $1.5 million now.
G plays some poker, boy, but it doesn't always work.
And Jason Mann holding on to some of that Canadian run good here this summer at the World Series, up to almost $5.7 million. At another table, one of the 2 remaining women, Beverly Lang, is being tested. Chris Kinane with pocket kings raised Lang all in. Lang holds ace jack of diamonds.
Mr. Vinny, I would like to winnie because I'm all inning.
There you go, Lang calls all in.
She's invented a new all-in call. It's longer than Heidi Ho, but it's catchy.
All right, let's see what
Been
happens.
good to me all tournament.
It'll be there.
He can do it.
Good luck to both of you.
Poker love, no matter what happens.
The Texas event planner and drill team impresario needs some poker love right now.
She does indeed. Lang's ace-jack suited all in against the kings. And here's the flop, a set for Kinane.
Well, that's not very nice.
Lang paired her ace, and now pairs her jack.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay.
This table has been weird.
I don't really want a club. I would like a jack, though. Oh, jack's no good. What do I need? An ace.
Only an ace.
I need an ace. Benny, my man.
The river card, not an ace. Kinane scores the knockout of Beverly Lang.
Good luck, baby. Had a blast. Y'all were so fun.
She came in with a smile and goes out with a smile. That's the way to do it.
It's my first main event.
Thank you, Beverly.
Love sitting by you. Woo!
What a run for Beverly Lang.
And all you ladies who are chicken to play, y'all come play because you're good. Thank y'all.
The main event loses a delightful character in Beverly Lang, leaving Australia's Jackie Glazier as the last woman standing. But we know this pro has bigger goals in mind. Back in Las Vegas, let's go down to Kara Scott for a report.
We now have only one female player left here in the main event. Australian Jackie Glazier is once again taking a deep run, and she's already far surpassed her 284th place finish from last year. Along with that deep run, she had a banner 2012. She won the Melbourne Poker Championship in Australia, then flew to Las Vegas, came second in a 3K no-limit hold'em bracelet event. And with the debut of the World Series of Poker Asia Pacific stop in Melbourne this year, well, it seems fitting that she should be here taking a run at the biggest final table in poker, with her Australian rail cheering her on.
Jackie spoke to us about her run and what it means to other women.
I think aside from just my personal goals, and which have nothing to do with my gender, it is very important for me to inspire other women to play poker, and I think that seeing another female make a final table World Series, I would hope would be a lot of inspiration for other female poker players. And if it's not me, I truly hope another female does get there.
Among those on Jackie's rail, Australian poker pioneer Marcia Wagner, who finished 19th in the 1993 main event and 12th in the 97 main event.
With a flush draw and 2 overs, Jackie trying to catch Chris Johnson's leading pocket sevens. Johnson checked the flop. Jackie putting chips together, 315,000.
Johnson, 27-year-old Las Vegas pro with a marketing degree from the University of Nebraska.
It has been a marvelous summer of poker for Johnson. 7 cashes at this World Series, including 1 final table. And now here, a deep run in the main event. And he makes that call. So over $1 million in the pot now. Turn card. Another 8. Johnson now with 2 pairs, 7s and 8s. He checks it again. Jackie says all in.
Glazier semi-bluff shoves. The last woman standing could be the next player out if Johnson can find a call in him. But this is for almost all his remaining chips, so it is one tough call.
Jackie putting as much pressure on Johnson as she can.
She could have an overpair to the board. She could have an 8 in her hand, or she could have a draw. Would she bluff shove on a draw?
And with Chris taking his time, Jackie's pretty confident she's got outs if he does call. What a moment here on day 5 of the main event. Jackie's husband on the left, Jamie on pins and needles as well. Chris Johnson basically knows this is a decision for his main event. He does make the call.
Good call by Chris Johnson, and now he hopes it gets rewarded.
Jackie Glazier at risk and behind.
She's looking for an ace, 10, or any diamond other than the 7, or she's out of here.
And the river card is a 10! Jackie Rivers a better 2-pair to claim this $4 million chip pot.
So demoralizing for Chris Johnson.
Johnson not rewarded for making the correct call. Jackie can hardly believe her luck.
Apparently there have been no advancement in the Aussie cheers in the last 8 years.
When she had to have a card the most, she got it. Jackie Glazier's main event run isn't over yet. Tonight's Bracelet Moments are presented by PokerNews.com. Deuce to 7 draw lowball is a game for real poker professionals, as proven by the 2 tough tournaments this summer. Jesse Martin scored his 31st cash and first bracelet for beating David Bakes Baker in the 10K No Limit event. And old school veteran Elia Lesra defeated superstar Daniel Negreanu heads up to take down the $2,500 triple draw event for his 2nd bracelet. Back at the feature table, J.C. Tran is now the second biggest chip stack here because Mark-Etienne McLaughlin has just carried his 5.7 million chips to seat 6. He's a top 10 stack in the room. And he is under the gun. He raised to 80,000 with ace-king, Tran with ace-jack. And Tran comes along for 80,000. So the top 2 stacks, at least, will be in this hand. And that encourages some folds around the table. Jaffe with 10-9 of clubs.
He dropped out of college after one semester, partially because he had a bad internet connection in his dorm. These kids.
He loves to explore the possibilities of a variety of starting hands, as we've seen. And Jaffe says re-raise to 240,000.
When I went to college, Lon, we didn't even have the internet. We had books and beer.
McLaughlin now with his ace-king.
10 Canadians won bracelets at this World Series. 5 Canadians left in the main event. McLaughlin, Jason Mann, Yan Dion, Umang Datani, and Alex Livingston.
The Maple Leaf is en fuego. McLaughlin called. Now Tran gets rid of his ace-jack.
JC with the right move again.
So that leaves Jaffe, and McLaughlin heads up. Here's the flop. 9, Queen, King. Jaffe with bottom pair and a gut shot. McLaughlin with top pair, top kicker. Jaffe checks.
This is McLaughlin's 3rd top 100 finish in the main event in the last 5 years. Wow.
Yeah, indeed. And he bets $250,000 here with the best hand.
Jaffe seems poised to do something. Maybe he's waiting for a better Wi-Fi connection.
This usually means something nefarious. Oh, he says raise, Norman.
They don't make dolphin trainers like they used to, Lon. In my day, a dolphin trainer would give Flipper a couple of treats, then go home and catch Gentle Ben. But this generation, dolphin trainers are super aggro.
350 more.
You heard him. 350,000 more is the raise.
McLaughlin, top pair, top kicker, and a super aggro dolphin trainer staring him down.
Mark-Etienne calls for 350 more. All right, so a nice pot, over 1.8 million. Jaffe being tested here by the newcomer. Turn card, 4 of clubs. Jaffe adds a club flush draw.
Whoa, old-fashioned stare down at OK Corral.
McLaughlin with the best of it so far. A check from Jaffe.
Jaffe says no, but I think McLaughlin will say, oh no, I'm betting.
No, he doesn't.
I never know anything.
River card now. Another queen, so Jaffe left wanting.
I'll say this about Jaffe. He's aggro, but he stays on a very even keel. That's a valuable asset.
McLaughlin very interested in Jaffe now. He knows he has found a formidable opponent at this featured table. Another check from Jaffe.
Interestingly, McLaughlin now can only lose the hand if he bets. If he checks, it's all over. The pot is his. But if he wagers and gets check raised, who knows what he does?
McLaughlin weighing every option.
With a gulp.
Better safe than sorry.
2 pair.
Yep, 2 pair.
2 pair.
No, McLaughlin's got 2 pair.
Yeah, he's got the 2 pair that wins the pot. And that pot will make Mark-Etienne McLaughlin the main event chip leader with almost 6.7 million. McLaughlin takes chips from Jaffe, and look at this.
Get out of town. Are you taking this guy from my table again? He's been moved.
That's a joke? I know, I carry
Nice
his backpack
joke.
every time.
Straight hit
Can
and
I
run.
go with me too?
I
was afraid of the super move on the river.
Yeah, you look like a hit and run type of guy.
The better it is for you. People are busting out.
This is unbelievable.
Jim Colby can't believe it, but they need to balance the tables. McLaughlin is the next big blind, so he gets moved to another table.
See you in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he wasn't feature table material. Put him out in the field.
All right, speaking of the field, we're going to catch up on a little business right here. Grayson Ramage was knocked out of the main event. The New York Poker Pro, with a second deep run over the last 5 years, finishes in 80th place. A very fine result for him. There is Pittsburgh's Vic Sinelli, his first main event cash run, in danger of ending right here with ace-queen against the pocket tens of Las Vegas pro Ryan Reese on the left.
Sinelli, you may recall, busted Phil Hellmuth on day 3.
Sinelli looking for help here with the ace-queen. A 10 in the window, and Sinelli suddenly needs a poker paramedic. Turn card is a 9. That ends it. Sinelli is drawing dead, knocked out by Reese.
Let's go, baby!
78th place for Vic Sinelli. He'll cash out for nearly $85,000.
It's a scarly looking beast.
He's single, by the way. Let's go.
Ryan Reese the Beast with almost 6.5 million chips here on day 5. Yevgeny Timoshenko with a little chip envy next to him. So many reasons for Reese to smile. Great flop, great support, and a monster stack. Welcome back to the Rio in Las Vegas. Kara Scott standing by with a report.
46-year-old player Sammy Rustem is having a great time here at the World Series of Poker main event. He started day 5 second in chips. Now, I ran into him hours before play started, and he told me that he's having a lot of trouble sleeping. It's all the adrenaline and the excitement of playing here in the main event. He said that this tournament in particular is a real endurance game, and he laughingly suggested that maybe poker itself is a younger player's game as well because of that. Considering he's hovering near the top of the chip counts with less than 100 players left in the main event, I'm not so sure he's right about that.
Rustem, born in Syria, owns a remodeling business in eastern LA County. From the small blind with 6 trays suited, facing a raise to 80,000 from Jamie Kaplan holding ace-king suited. Rustem makes the call, and now French pro Sylvain Loosely with king 10.
Loosely lives in London. He has a business degree from Telecom École de Management. I believe they are the Horned Frogs.
There's Kaplan, another pro originally from Rhode Island, now lives here in Las Vegas. Loosely will come along for 40,000. Rustem and Loosely, the 2 big stacks at this table. Kaplan with about 1.1 million to start the hand. 3-way flop. Jack, Trey, King. Rustem with a pair of trays. Loosely with top pair and inferior kicker. Kaplan with top pair, top kicker.
Everyone got a piece of that flop, Lon. Away from the poker table, we call that socialism.
Rustem checks. Loosely checked.
Kaplan finished 5th in the WSOP Main Event in 2009, worth almost $500,000.
He's got the best hand, bets 130,000.
Rustem wears those sunglasses even when he is remodeling.
Pair of trays for Rustem. Feels reluctant to give them up, but he does indeed. And now Loosely with the second best hand. And he makes the call. Over $500,000 in the middle, a queen on the turn. Loosely open-ended now. Kaplan with a Broadway draw. It goes check, check. River card. 8 of diamonds. Kaplan's hand is best. The French pro with a big stack. He puts Kaplan all in.
He will rue the day he made that bet.
Oh, wow.
Rue it. Actually, Kaplan's doing the ruining right now.
Yeah, he is.
I think Loosely thinks he has the best hand, and Kaplan doesn't know that he has the best hand.
Kaplan's stack is kind of awkward. He's got enough to stick around for a while, but he needs a double up if he wants to be competitive. And Kaplan kicks in the best hand.
Poker is a tough game, Lon. I would not play it for a living.
Get to see it on TV anyway, might as well show them now.
Nope, sorry.
Ace-king was never behind it. It flopped top pair, top kicker, good to the end, and it folds to a river bet. Yeah. Tough game.
You had a king, huh? What happened? You didn't push. Was it a lousy kicker?
No, I had the best kicker possible. I just felt like that.
You had ace-king in that hand?
Ace-king, yeah. I don't know how to play.
You don't know how to play. You know how to play.
You think I should call the river?
No, I think you should push on the turn.
Oh, okay. Well.
Not call the river, but push on the turn.
Maybe.
Ace king, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think you have ace king at all.
Okay.
I doubt it. Not even a king.
Sammy Rustam hoping to replace Phil Locke on Pro Analysis. Don't think he passed the audition.
Well, we'll keep it here at this secondary featured table. Carlos Mortensen, who's had a fine day 5, sits with almost 2.7 million chips, won't play this hand. Back to Rustam on the button, ace 7. And a raise to 80,000.
We don't track these stats, but I believe that the 29 times it's folded to Sammy on the button at this main event, he has raised 29 times, Lon. Again, that's unofficial.
King Jack for Loosely in the small blind.
Loosely moved to London when he turned pro because he can play on more online sites as a UK resident.
He has more than 1 million in online winnings. This is his first main event, and he's in the money.
Now, he just turned King 10 into a winner, so King Jack should be a walk in the park.
Absolutely. He calls for 60,000. Now Kaplan in the big blind folds 6 deuce.
If Sammy Rustam offered to remodel my house, I'd have to decline.
If the dealer offered to give me a haircut, I would decline. Heads up, the 2 grand stacks at this table. 5, Queen Jack, middle pair for Loosely. Rustam left with an unrequited ace. Loosely checks.
Well, Sammy says get your checks at the bank, and when you do, come to the bank of Rustam.
Well, if it's folded to him, he's going to raise. If it's checked to him, he's going to bet 155,000.
This is Loosely's first main event. If he's played with Rustam at all, he'd know that Sammy right now probably has ace 7 offsuit.
Loosely doesn't get crazy with middle pair, just calls. To the turn they go. Deuce of spades. Loosely still ahead with his jacks. Checks again.
That's a good card for Sammy. His opponent didn't improve. Sammy still drawing to a pair.
And still showing aggression. The turn bet is 350,000.
Sammy barrels ahead. It's been working for him at this main event. And in this game, so often, you aggress, you accumulate. You don't aggress, you regress.
And Sammy is one to aggress. And he has done it time and time again in this hand. And he gets Loosely to fold the leading hand.
This is the first hand I ever win against you. The first hand, man.
Loosely's stack shrinks a bit, but still quite strong. Sammy Rustam now the man to beat in this main event. His double barrel bluff gives him a pot that puts him back in the chip lead here on day 5. Orlando pro Nick Schwarman now out of the main event, provided plenty of entertaining hands along the way.
He was a kid with a dream.
Nice payday for Schwarman, nearly 85,000. Canadian Jan Dion has all his chips at risk with pocket 9s. Nebraska farmer Phil Mader has about a third of his at risk, making the call with ace-king.
Jack Bauer thinks the farmer is a terrorist threat.
All right, here's the flop. Dion at risk. 6 queen deuce. Dion's 9 still ahead. Both players could really use this pot. Turn card is a 9. Dion with an unbeatable set, doubling through farmer Phil. And Phil sees the ace on the river too little, too late.
So Jack Bauer might have another 24 hours of playing him.
Mader's fine main event continues. He still has 2.5 million chips. Elsewhere, Florida pro Noah Schwartz flopped a set of 6s against the pocket kings that Augie Spetz shoved with.
A heart, a heart. Heart or a king.
McLovin's got 14 World Series cashes, 3 final tables. Spetz has to have a king or a heart other than the 4.
He turned the flush draw. The river card, the 7 of clubs, bringing an end to this main event for Augie Spetz.
Good luck. Good luck, everyone.
Play patient.
I got lucky. You can't win an 80 so many times.
He doubled up until he didn't.
Back to Jackie Glazier. Her pocket kings are still good on the turn against the pocket jacks and jack high straight draw of Ryan Reese. She checks.
Reese the Beast, 23-year-old Michigan State grad.
With a big stack of chips. That's 175,000.
He bets with what could be the best hand. It's not. And of course, he still could hit a jack, or a river 8 would give Ryan a winning straight.
Jackie Glazier with her pocket kings, not going anywhere. River card now. Deuce of clubs. Glazier is safe. Checks again. As does Ryan.
Good check back on the river from Reese. Saves some chips.
Well, not the monster pot we thought we might see with those two big hands, but Jackie will be stacking the winnings again. Reese takes a small hit, still sits with $5.5 million.
And echoes of oi, oi, oi now being heard again throughout Clark County.
Bouncing off the Joe Hashem banner here in the Amazon room. Jackie had dropped below $4 million, now back over it. Day 5 in the books, players bagging their chips. It was a good one for J.C. Tran at the feature table.
If he ends up with all the chips, the Sacramento Kings should hire him to coach.
Chip leader Sammy Rustam enjoying a $7 million chip stack.
He's an investor. His next investment should be in himself.
Jackie back in her winning ways.
The last woman standing should hire a man to bag her chips.
So Rustam in the lead right now, followed by 2 Canadians. Ryan Reese, the Beast, in 7th. 68 players remain.
And don't look now, but Steve G still out there. I'll have what he's having.
I wanted to have a deep run, but even I didn't think I would be here playing on day 6.
Started the day with $1 million, bagged like 5.57, so it was a very good day.
I mean, obviously this is amazing. Like, just to get to a day 6 is something that every poker player wants to achieve. Finally, I'm here, 65 people away from making $8 million, being the champion of the world. It's quite exciting.
Tonight, the storylines of the 2013 main event continued to shift. Jackie Glazier is the last woman standing after Annette Oberstad, and Beverly Lang's deep runs got deep 6th. We got introduced to Reese the Beast.
Single, by the way.
And Syrian-born Sammy Rustam.
I think you have ace-king at all.
Carlos Mortensen and J.C. Tran continue to impress, but as we learn and relearn each day, nothing is guaranteed at the main event.
Let me hustle, not you. Is it my hustle or yours? I'm not betting you.
For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. We'll see you on day 6.